Shalom, shalom.
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 First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem,
Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great most.
Double honors.
Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. We almost out of this bitch, man. Babylon the Great. It's on its way out, man. This place is slowly but surely getting, seeing a public demolition of this great whore that sitteth upon many waters, man. Matter of fact, let's start on that. Revelations 18. Nothing around there. This place is on its way out. Start at 18 and 10. Because this place has been prescribed for demolition. According to the scripture in the book of Revelation, was it 17 or 17th chapter or the 30th chapter? It's the 7th head that came out of the 8th that shall go into perdition. The 8th head that came out of the 7th Salaki that shall go into perdition represents who? America, Babylon the Great. And it's on its way out, man. You see what this guy Donald Trump is doing. He's a fanatic, man. He's a celeb that's sitting in the Oval Office and he's running amok. He's totally demolishing and destroying the whole American economy. One man up, one man standing army. Supposedly, even though he works as a guinea pig, he's just a puppet leader as the rest of them, rest of the politicians out there for the wicked elite. But he's slowly but surely bringing the whole public demolition of the American society, man, right before our eyes. And there's still people that still sleep, still thinking that there's still hope for America to bounce back. Like it tells in Jeremiah, the Lord said that Babylon should not be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but it's not going to be healed, man. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to go into desolation, destruction. Why? Because the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, prophesied it was going to go into destruction. So go ahead, up.
Revelations 18, yeah? So this is...
Yeah, you can jump to 10 if you want.
Go on. Or even 9 is a good one to start from. Revelations 18 and 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Yeah, so that the time's going to come where all the nations, they're going to sit back and watch America burn, man. And this is going to be in the midst of World War III. Now, you see the whole situation that's going on over there in the Middle East right now. That shit is not getting quenched, man. That shit is forever getting more, corrosive, man. They keep adding more fire to add more coals to the fire, basically, with that situation over there in the Middle East, with the Strait of Hormuz not shutting, man, or being shut and not reopened, man. Basically, that's causing so much catastrophe around the world economy on an economic and political stage that the world's not going to be able to bounce back from it, man. It's going to bring forth that Great Depression, especially over there in America, man. Them 10 plagues like with ancient Egypt that hit the Hamites, that's about to hit America, man. All kinds of plagues are going to be released on America right now, man. And that's going to lead into the time of Jacob's trouble. Sedition amongst men, uprisings of the people, food fights and all that, panic buying, people going crazy for the lack of bread, sedition amongst men and all that, as I just said. People running around with swords in their hands. Modern day sword is the gun. Well, America's going to become the Wild Wild West all over again, man. It's going to be kill or be killed out here because it's going to be a fight for survival. The economy that's about to collapse. These people ain't going to know how to bounce back from it. The only ones that's going to have the answers is the government. And they're the ones that's setting you up for the great fall. Because it's an order ab chaos scenario, man. They want to bring forth a new world dystopian order with everyone being hit with biometric devices in order to see it in their right hand and their forehead, which is the MOT to the B, prophesied in Revelation, the 30th chapter.
Yeah.
And now you got this guy Elon Musk, and he's saying anyone that's outside of that doesn't want to take the C hit, basically outside of the grid, they're not going to be. Oh no, that was Bill the Kill Gates that said that. But Elon Musk said he basically wants everyone to be have this biometric device by 2036. But we know, according to the scriptures, there ain't going to be no 2036, and Babylon or America is still going to be around.
Impossible, man.
There's no way in hell the Lord's going to let America keep ruling for the next 10 to 20 years, man. Or next 10 years even. So, and even next 10 months, who knows what's going to happen within the next year? America's on its way out, man. And we're seeing it right before our eyes.
Precept.
Yeah, just go ahead.
On that point, this is Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Yeah, this devil, Elon Musk was saying, 2036, money's going to become irrelevant, and, everyone's going to have to get used to the new way of buying and selling. That's that vain imagination that the brother just read, man. They imagine their houses should continue forever. That's their vain imagination, a wicked thought. Not knowing that, within the next 6 to 12 months from now, all hell could break loose. I mean, we just spoke about it off camera, You got the conscription that's coming. Trump, the Pentagon, has basically signed a directive, you know, on the books. Within 3 weeks, they can, set up a global or American conscription, man, for you YNs out there, man. The 2/3 of you YNs and you YNBs are gonna get shipped over there to the Middle East to be on the front line, man. It was like the galvanized iron, the GIs, man. They're gonna use you. They're gonna use your expendable resources and throw you over there in the front lines to get slaughtered, man. There's gonna be a great slaughter of you Israelites over there in the land of America and over there in the Middle East. That's where a lot of bodies are gonna be piling up, and that's gonna be the first job of the wicked elite. When we capture them in slavery, they're gonna have to bury all the millions of bodies over there in the Middle East, man. They have to clean the land. They're gonna be the modern day. They're gonna be the kingdom of heaven sanitation crew. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be cleaning up digging up holes and pits and putting them dead bodies in there, making sure the holes are, nice and comfy for the dead bodies. We're gonna throw some of them in there as well with them. We're probably gonna have like a little Gehenna.
Rightfully so, man.
But throw them in the bonfire too.
The Lord said our hearts will meditate terror for real.
Yeah. So we're gonna be they're gonna be delegated a lot of work. Because these devils they ain't never worked a day in their life. They don't know what a hard day's work labor in their life is, man. They've been born with a silver or even not platinum spoon in their mouth. They don't even know what silver is, man. They've been born with platinum and all them kind of precious stones, living a luxurious, exacerbated life. So when they get put into slavery, it's going to be like a rat from riches to rags. They're not going to know how to deal with it, but they're going to have to eat it. They're going to have to swallow that pill, and they're going to be mad as fuck that the Israelites, the ones that they hated the most, these Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be the predominant kings and rulers. But they're going to have to swallow that pill, man. But that's like their worst nightmare, to have their own slavers ruling over them, man. But that's what you didn't consider.
Yeah.
You didn't consider that when you put your hands on us and put us on them cargo slave ships. But one day you're gonna have to return the favor, man. But you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to,
Hey, go into captivity under those who
yeah.
put in captivity.
Jeremiah 30:16. Let's get that.
Yeah, that's right.
You're gonna have to go into slavery, man. You have to pay for what you did. You pay for your crimes, man. No one escapes the judgment of the Lord, man. Even from generation to generation, no one escapes, man. The law requires that which is passed. And Jeremiah 15:33 says, the children of Israel, which are the sons of Israel and the sons of Judah, were oppressed together. By who? So who's the common denominator of that? Who's so-called white people, man?
That's right.
Not just you only. I mean, the Arabs and the Hamites were part of that too. But you so-called white people, you took it to a whole nother level, man. You built off a whole economy off the backs of free slaves, man. Free slave labor.
Yeah.
Off our hard work and sweat and tears, you built up this whole society, Babylon the Great. You built up the British Empire. That's how the British Empire became super rich, super wealthy after the transatlantic slave trade. Colonization and all of that. So you devils got to pay, man. There's no way you can skate off into the sunset thinking you're gonna have the new world order and it's off into the sunset and all of that. No way, man. You got to pay, man, with your life.
Yeah, man. The Lord said in Isaiah 14:21 for us to prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they don't rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. So man, the Lord is with it, man. The Lord is with Esau being destroyed. Like he'll be vivified by your destruction. And ultimately speaking, like it's gonna be a beautiful thing. The whole world's gonna be with it. Even the trees, it says, are gonna rejoice at Esau eating food. When we, like this side of the earth will be destroyed, but seeing nature in that kind of state where trees in the middle of summer, heat waves are still not galvanized, still don't have their full fruition, is going to be a thing of the past, man.
Everything, the land, everything's not yielding its full strength because the wicked's occupying the land. I mean, you're in the land right now, supposed to be the land flowing with milk and honey. That land's been barren since you devils got in there, man. Nothing grows in there, so kibbutz. You have to bring shit out of the land to grow stuff in. You have to grow stuff outside of the land of Israel to bring it in. We're not supposed to be the land flowing with milk and honey. It wasn't like that when Moses and Joshua and Caleb went in there with the 12 tribes. It wasn't like that when they got there. That land was precious. That land was flourishing. It yielded its full strength because that's the Lord's pleasant, favorite land on the face of the earth. It's basically there. What they call it, the Fertile Crescent. Mesopotamia and all of that. So that place was very fertile before you devils got over there. But once again, what happens when the devil comes across? He pillages the land, he steals, he robs, he kills. John 10 and 10, man.
Destroys. Yeah.
Look at the situation with Venezuela right now. It said that coming out, You know, they took the president out and Maduro and all that. Don't even know what happened to that guy, him and his wife, whether they're still alive or whatever that's happened. But this guy has come out that Trump stole over $13 billion, man.
Yeah.
13, was it 13 billion or 13 no, 13 billion.
Billion.
He stole over $13 billion and no one, everyone's asking questions, where's the money at, man? So that's John 10 and 10 right there. The thief coming not but to steal, kill, but to destroy. That's why you're never supposed to trust our enemy, man. That's why you can't trust these so-called crackers, man. They're a bunch of thieves, they're robbers. They're untrustworthy, man. They're a bunch of they're connivers, man. Serpents, man. You know? That's what they do. So this guy totally just fucked up the Venezuelan economy. He ransacked the whole the bank basically and just took all their wealth. So now they're gonna be like Haiti right now, man. They're gonna be eating mud pies, mud cakes and all that shit. You know, living in huts, pretty much. Because I think they said it's been a lights out situation for months as well.
Yeah,
for like 6 months they've been having not blackouts, man. People having to try and find generators and shit different forms of electricity to keep and fans as well because it's hot as fuck. So then people are dying because of a heat wave as well, man. And they got no electricity, nothing. There's been over 6 months. There's been a blackout over there. This demon Trump took some 13 billion from their fucking Venezuelan account, man. And no one's asking why. Where that money at? That's what the devil does, man. He comes up to the kill field and to destroy. So that's why this devil's never changed, man. He's been this way from the get-go.
Yeah. Same
Same traits, same characteristics. That's why we know who the wicked is, and we know who the seed of the wicked is, and we know who's ruling the earth right now.
Because if I can say as well, like, I was watching the video on this earlier, like in America and here as well, Edomites can go, like, especially in the South. You take somewhere like Tennessee, for example, they are well known for their slavery. Like, it happened all over America. But Edomites today can go to an old slavery encampment. They can go to a church where they know Negroes were hanged. And like, most of those places are now marriage resorts and all sorts of, they build shit on top of it. But like, let you go build some shit on top of where the alleged Auschwitz was and go commit a marriage ceremony in front of them kind of
anti-Semites, bro.
Bro, they will anti-Semite you bro, they will throw you up. But that's what I'm saying, that's how you know they don't give a fuck about Jake's plight, because bro, like you've got they not only did they recompense the slave owners for the slaves being free, to this day, like, you can go to places where Jake was hung and they're tourist hotspots, bro.
Hotspots, yeah, like even in Ghana, man.
Yeah.
When you go to Benin and all that, they take you to the slave ports. It's a tourism site.
Yeah.
But they actually that's an actual port where they took slaves. And they never, that was basically, they said that it was what do they call it? The place of no return or something like that.
Them
Where that was the last place you're going to see ever Ghana again. And then all you see is pure water. That's straight off. You're sailing off and then you're never going to see that land ever again. They call it the place of no return, man. That's over there in Benin, the slave ports and all that. That's a tourism site right now. Brothers have been there. Brothers have gone back there and seen it. They'd have the tour guide will take you through there. They say, if you look at this hole, this is where the slaves were put and all that. Showing you little anklets and shit, like little the chains and shit that they put on them. They got statues and all that, Jakes, all that, fucked up and all that. That's what they do. They make mockery of us, man. They used our downfall and our time of captivity as an exploit, man, to make money off of us, man. Like the brother said, it's got tourism sites now, all over the world, not just in West Africa, but everywhere that Jake was captured and put into slavery, like in Switzerland.
Right.
Them Swedish, they're racist as fucking hell, man. They got, in the shops and all that, confectionery shops, they got Jake's gollywogs and shit, like black gollywogs, and they sell them the sweets and shit, man. Or they they do the cannibalism thing over the world, because they got fucking like a makeshift image or picture, or not portrait, but makeshift mannequin of a black woman, a big Angie Mama looking type, and she's getting cut. When they cut it, it's obviously inside of it is red and cream and all that, so they're acting like it's actual cannibal, like you're eating an actual Jake. But they celebrate that shit over there in Sweden, man. But at the same time, they got the different statues of that, of the Moors when they ruled over there.
I got a preset for you.
So these devils are making known for exploiting the poor, especially raw people, man, and making riches off of us. But now they want to skate off and not pay for that. The law said they require that which is past, man. And though you hold yourself not guilty, you're guilty as charged according to the scriptures. And you are going into slavery. I don't care what you devils do, how much money you try and save to sail off into the sunset, or climb out of space, or hide in some damn underground bunker. It don't matter, man, because the angels are watching you. The angels already know where you're going to be at in that time of judgment, man. And they're gonna go there, they're gonna be waiting for your ass, man. They're gonna be waiting for you, ball and chain. Waiting to slap them around your necks and your arms, man, and your wrists and your feet. And cart your ass into them cargo slave ships where you're gonna be, man. Don't get it twisted, man. You're not gonna escape the judgment of the Lord, man. Not now. Especially you wicked elite. You're gonna pay, man. Whether you die on this side or in the next kingdom to come. There's reincarnations in the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got this for you. This is Lamentations chapter 2 and 15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the door.
Go ahead.
It says, they hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty?
Yeah, the daughter of Jerusalem represents the 12 tribes. We're known as a tender, delicate woman to the Lord. But we were distant, we abused our ways of our power, man. You know, we committed a spiritual adultery. But that's how the Lord looks at us as a woman, said to Jeremiah. But we went off, you know, so that's why the Lord put us into captivity under our worst enemies, man, our nemesis, especially these so-called white people, as well as the other nations. You got a whole list of them in the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. The list of Esau first and then the Arabs and so on and so forth, man. The Hagarenes, and, you know, all these different nations. One way or another, all these nations are going into captivity because they, one time and another in history, they had us in captivity. Like the Assyrians, you know, the Babylonians, the Cushites, all these nations had us in slavery, man, so they got to go into slavery. The Persians, the Medes, the sons of Japheth. You know, they're not in power right now, but they're going into slavery, man.
Yeah, no, that's right.
All them niggas on the Polynesian islands and all that, them little Moana and all that, what's that Disney cartoon Moana and the Samoans and shit, they're going into slavery, man. They ain't gonna be chilling on them islands for too much longer. Right. Enjoying the sun and all that. Talking about all this, you know, all that chanting and shit like they do in the rugby and all that. They do that, well, you ain't gonna be doing that for too much longer. You're going into slavery, man. They've forgotten about you.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you're just over there in the islands, you know, with bitches are doing the belly dancing. You think you're gonna skate off? Nah, man. The Lord gonna require your ass to go into slavery too. And we're gonna take your women as well, because your women are beautiful, man. They got the long hair, looking like, you know, with them Hawaiian type bitches and all. They all got the long hair, Coca-Cola shake. All of them. That's part of the fruits of our hard labor that we have to serve, man. The booty. The Lord said we're gonna take their booty, man. So anyway, back to the point. Yeah, you had that picture that was going around last week, going viral, and that Edomite, that young Edomite devil looking like Adolf Hitler Jr., you know, and he's standing there, and he's like a little Nazi soldier, and he's got two Jake, like what I think he got a Jake woman, a Negro woman, and probably a native or whatever, Northern and Southern Kingdom, and he's got his hands on them like this, like he's just got that sinister look in his eyes, looking at the camera and all that. Like he's about to do some foul shit to them, man. And he probably did, man. He probably had fun with them, done his thing, and then passed them around. Probably after all that, he probably ate them, man. Because them devils are known for eating our people, delectable Negro and all that. There's so much shit Esau done to us, man. They got to pay. Even during the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages and that, when Esau was up in the caves in the Caucasus Mountains, they got old artistries and in the ministries and all that, especially in Sweden and that, of us fighting the wild men and the wood wolves, you know, because they was coming out of the caves to come and fight, you know, Jake and the Moors are the ones that settled them and brought them back into society, so to speak. You know, taught them etiquette and all these fights, and so to speak, educated them and brought them into so-called the nobility, you know, which they shouldn't have done. You're never supposed to trust by an enemy. Yeah, you domesticated them, but it shows you pictures of them all fighting and all that, eating Jake and all that, eating their arms and shit. Because Esau's into that cannibalism shit, man. He's a freak of nature, man. They're freaks of nature. The scripture says the spirit that's in them is not upright. That's why these devils ain't supposed to be in a leadership seat. But now all the videos, all the footage, and all the reports that are coming out, and all the top pedos of the earth, they're all Edomites. It so happens that all the top pedos of the fucking earth, they're all Edomites. I wonder why. Even Job said it, man. He wouldn't even let them sit with his dogs. Because he knew the traits of Esau, man. He knew Esau was a wild man. Like, by nature. In thought, man. He does freaky shit. He's the top basis of men. He's a top heathen of the earth, man. Man eating, like, you know, having sex with animal bestiality, eating human flesh and all that. That's what they're about. These people rule the earth right now. And you wonder why your kids are going missing every fucking year, man. End up on the missing list on the back of a milk carton.
This is Sirach, the 12th chapter, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Never trust thine enemy, man. So what did you Venezuelans think? When Trump was coming to save the day, save you from Maduro. He stole all the money in your accounts, man. He basically left you bankrupt and broke. Now you're living in darkness, literally, man.
Yeah.
For the past 6 months, so you already know time of Jacob's trouble. Them Venezuelans, they're not part of the Lord's elect. The ones that's over there, they're gonna be free, bro.
Yeah.
They're already free, but they're gonna be totally free in that time.
Yeah, yeah. Because on top of the money stolen, they also had that earthquake, what, 7 on the Richter scale?
7
Back to
point
back.
something.
There was
Yeah,
2 of them as
2
well.
of them.
Within 40 seconds. And if Trump was such a benevolent Edomite leader for you people, why has he not used any of that stolen money to help the people, to benefit the people? I thought it was all about the Venezuelan people. The same way it's supposed to be about the people of Iran. Like, he cares about the Iranians and he wants you to rise up against your rulers, but he's bombing civilian infrastructure.
Exactly.
Like,
And
anyway.
every other week he says it's going to be peace talks, but then when there's no peace talks, what did he retaliate to? Back to his own nature, threatening, saying we're going to fucking destroy you. He said that last week.
Yeah.
Before that, he was saying look, just bomb them to shit, just totally just annihilate them.
Yeah.
Now, last week, now he's saying like fuck, we're going to fucking destroy it right now. Like he's just basically showing his true colours, man. You just pointing it out there, man, because that's the spirit of the Edomite anyway. They always want to kill the red horse, man.
Yeah.
All they want to do is create wars, take peace from the earth, because that's their natural nature, man. You know, that's what they're about, man. They're not about peace. They're not a peaceable people. Name a time in history when Esau brought peace on the earth, man, when he's ruling. Even during the time of the Greeks, man.
Never happened.
Never happened, man. So why do you think it's gonna happen? You niggas are in a vein of false imaginations, man, thinking that this devil's gonna change. He ain't never gonna change, man. He's gonna be who he was meant to be, man. The devil that the Bible speaks of, man. The serpent, the old serpent, the devil, you know, and Satan. And he's the adversary of these people on the side, man. And Jake needs to wake up to that wake up. Only ones that's gonna wake up is the elect. That's what we're concerned with. 2/3, you're gonna get torn up because Esau's about to roll on you, man, and you don't even know it. Apostle Elder Rival just done the video about Jake gonna get slaughtered out here. It's true. Ezekiel 21. Someone read that. I always read that precept. It's gonna come to pass though. Ezekiel 21 from verse 9 to 12. That's gonna be in the time of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7, man. Because Esau's gonna basically, they've had enough, and now they're saying they're gonna start bringing IDF soldiers in the time of our martial law. They're the ones that's gonna be mistreating and doing martial law on Jake in the time of our martial law, because the American soldiers, they ain't gonna turn in their own people like that. They're too patriotic, man. The American soldiers, the veterans and all that, they ain't gonna want to put on the regalia and all that and start shooting at their own American citizens. They're too patriotic for that. So what's Esau gonna do? They get the worst Edomites you can, them Amalekites, them small hat rats. That's why America and Israel merged, man. Now they're saying America is basically the United States of Israel, and it is. America is become the United States of Israel because they just merged as one. The armies and all of that, military-wise, intelligence, all that. So, and it's been like that from the beginning anyway. It was just secretive before. Now it's out in the open. So now you don't have to buy politicians no more. They're all part of the same fucking circle. You don't have to pay off certain politicians. But now they just, he's part of the Zionists. They set him up. That's the new leader right now. Trump is just a Zionist president. That's all that is. When Esau's going to use their military, that IDF military is the worst of its kind, man. Because they hate Jake, man. They hate you 12 tribes. They're the same ones that say they want to exterminate you black Negroes, man. They said you're the problem. Remember that bitch?
Yeah.
She said it in that conference, man. Said we need to get rid of the problem. The problem is the blacks and all that.
Yeah.
That's what she said, man. And she meant what she said. And what they mean is that they want to exterminate you tribes, man. And now they got the policies and everything on a directive to do so. Time of our martial law, they're going to come out the woodwork from IDF soldiers. They're going to be pinning you jakes down, man. Especially you black women with them wigs on your damn head. They're going to be pinning you down in the damn middle of the street. You and little Tay-Tay, man. You and them damn kids. They're going to be getting laid out. And the men, they're going to have to defend themselves too. It's going to get gory out here. It's going to be the worst horror movie you've ever seen in real time, man. Fuck all the Hollywood shit. It's going to be real life. That's all.
Purge, man.
A lot of these women ain't gonna make it, man. No matter how pretty you are, you're gonna come. That's why I said 7 women shall take hold of one man, because a lot of these women, they're gonna be destitute out here, because men are gonna be dropping dead left, right, and center, man.
That's right. So Travis says, I'll read that real quick. I'll skip, go through it. So it says, never trust thine enemy, for like an iron ruster sows his wickedness. And if I can say as well, like, it's inevitable that metal is gonna rust. Like, that's one of those just normal chemistry things you get taught in school. Like, when metal oxidizes, it causes rust. The same way Edomites, you can domesticate them, like you said earlier. You can bring them into your family house. You can feed them food. You can clothe them. They could be a homeless Edomite, and I guarantee you, it could be a little baby, and they will grow up to try and kill you in your sleep or some fuckery, because it's just their nature. It's like who they are, man. It even goes on to say further in the scripture, "Who will pity a snake charmer?" Because that's what it's like. Though he humbled himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his wrath had not been altogether wiped away. So these Edomites basically are saying here, like, if you really like get in your detective mode and you start looking for clues, you'll see the red flags with Edomites on off the bat. They'll just have weird behavioral traits, and you see it even every brother that got an Edomite boss. You could be one whole year, you could have a clean slate, no problem. You come 15 minutes late and cause a little issue one time or make a mistake. That Edomite mode switches on, and then they start coming at you, trying to do you dirty, man.
Yep.
And that's even a domesticated effort. Look what these, what them small hats are breaking into the Palestinians' homes. Not that we care about them, wearing the women's underwear and shit, and chanting like fucking death to all Arabs, and that's why all the nations are gonna be glad when Esau goes down, man, and they're gonna be with it.
Yeah, everyone's getting fed up with the Amalekites. Because they was the first of the nations where the light end is what? That it should be destroyed. Even Balaam had to prophesy that. And he wasn't even a Jake, man. He was a so-called Midianite or something of that nature. He was a heathen, but the Lord put it in his mind to know the future of the Edomites, especially Amalek, man. Because they're the worst of the Edomites. They're the worst of his kind. Of all the dukes of Edom, Amalek is the worst, man. Because they're the ones, Bibi, and an example is Bibi. He came to America and all that to meet Trump. And he said that was the greatest times that he's ever spent. They had the greatest conversation. I wonder why, because now they've merged Israeli and the American society together and they become one. So now they're going to do the military expansion and all that, try and do the Greater Israel project, but as well, they're going to try and do the ground invasion on Iran, which is going to backfire. So that's why this least of the flock drew them out, drew America, Babylon out into this Third World War, which they're not going to win, they're going to lose, which we started off with in Revelations, the 8th chapter. That's why everyone's going to see America burning on fire, because that's going to be the end judgment of America stepping their foot over there in the Middle East and business that had nothing to do with them and sticking their big ass noses, their big ass eagle beaks in other people's business had no business being in there. That's why it tells you, man, that woe unto them that increase of that which is not his, you know, and many other precepts, man, that back that, you know, that what's going to happen to America is basically prophesied, man, because these devils, like it says in Habakkuk 2, they neither keepeth at home. They always got their nose in other people's business, man, where it's not required, man. But that's Esau for you, the proud devil that the Lord set up, you know, to be on this earth for the day of destruction. Proverbs 16:4. He created the wicked for the day of destruction, man. So all Esau's doing is fulfilling the word of the Lord on the left hand side. Don't matter how satanic he gets or more how demonic or whatever he does, all he's doing is fulfilling the will of the Father on the left hand side. And once the Lord gets tired of him, he's going to pull the plug on him, man. Like he's done in every other world leader that came into power, man. There's Lord the ones that set them up. That's what these heathens don't understand. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, you equally call God, he's a just power, man. He actually gave you other heathen nations a time to rule on earth. And you fucked it up, you squandered it. What's an example of that? Babylon the Great. He gave you Edomites time to rule, and look what you've done with it, man. You totally destroyed the economy, the world economy, you destroyed the vibration of the earth. The earth is crying out, you know, people are crying out, animals are destitute, dying and all that, you know. It's all because the wicked's ruling. Because you refuse to obey the laws of the land, man, obey the laws of the scriptures of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You don't want to follow the laws of the Bible. You want to do your own thing. So when you want to do your own thing, that's corruption, that's rebellion. So that's why the Lord set an example of what happens to the wicked when they don't follow instruction, man. This is what happens, man, when you try and repeat what them other heathenistic nations did in the times past and end up with the same judgment, man, or even worse. Sodom and Gomorrah. America's more than Sodom and Gomorrah on steroids, man. Look at all the shit that they're advertising and putting out there, man. Part of that filthy fornication in that cup. full of abominations and filth, man. This is all this part of the society, man. All that alphabetism, all this wickedness is going on. You know, everything that's outside of the scriptures, they promote. And they wonder why the Lord going to destroy them the way He's going to destroy them. And the ultimate device that they're going to use is that C-hip, man. Once you take that C-hip in your right hand and in your forehead, you would have basically pledged allegiance that you're willing to serve Satan rather than the Heavenly Father, man. So you know you're finished after that. You're through. You're gonna get burnt. You're gonna get burnt to a cinder. Anyone that's left on the shores of America, they're gonna get burnt. You know, and you Jakes over there that's gonna get shipped over there to the Middle East in that draft, that global draft very soon. They said it can happen within 3 weeks. There's some emergency thing, like, you know, state of emergency. There's like having an emergency draft because too many soldiers are dying. That's a setup, man. Because Esau knows they know well and good not to go over there on a ground invasion, man. They know that's the worst mistake they could ever do. Because there's no way of coming out of that. If you go in there, your soldiers ain't going to make it out alive. And there's even been accounts of, because they're not accounting for all the soldiers that's been dying already. There's lots of accounts of American soldiers being taken out. But they're not telling the public because they don't want to scare the public, fear-mongering them and all that. They're making you think that they're winning the war, even though they've been losing on all counts, man. Economically, financially, military-wise, the weapons. Like America's basically exacerbated all their weapons, and most of their good weapons basically they've exacerbated it, man. They threw it out with the baby water too early. Yeah. They thought they was gonna take over Iran and just throw out the good stuff, and Iran was just gonna buckle under the pressure and all that. Not knowing that Iran, they've been preparing for 20 years for your shit, man. Yeah. They already, you know, they probably got fake nuclear sites, the old sites that they got. And made you think, yeah, that all the shit's there, made you destroy it, not knowing that all the good shit's over here. Stupid motherfuckers, man. And they deal with asymmetric warfare. They ain't dealing with all that old conventional war of, you know, that battlefield Isaiah 9-6, on the battlefield and you roar and you just take over. They ain't dealing with it like that no more. It's not World War I and World War II. They're coming with that asymmetric, you know, tactical, surgical strikes, man. That's why these Americans are losing, man, because they don't know how to. They're just throwing all their good shit out there, thinking that's going to do damage, and then, you know, Iranians are just retaliating with more shit, and they ain't even using all their good weaponry yet. They still got all their good weaponry in stock. You worrying about some nuclear, enriching uranium? They already got nuclear weapons. What are you talking about? You think they're just waiting to enrich one silo to just create a nuclear weapon? They already got nuclear weapons. Are you dumb? They've been preparing for 20 years, man. Just like Russia's got all them nuclear weapons. You think the Iranians ain't got no nukes? Ready to shoot on your ass, man? Hypersonic missiles and so on and so forth? Come on, man. You're playing games, man. So the America's lost on all counts. But they still ain't got the memo yet. But it's coming. The hour and the day is coming, man. But like Brother read in Revelation 8 and 10. There's a specific day and hour, or he's going to read it in Revelation 8 and 10. Might as well read it now. Yeah. A specific day and hour and time that no man knoweth, only the Heavenly Father know, when he's going to send back his son Yahushua. And that's the day America's going to get torched with flames, man. And made to be a lake on fire. And everyone around the four winds of the earth, nations are going to see it through the World Wide Web, man. Live feed, live streams. That's why the Lord created live streams, man. So we can see what's going on in live time. So everyone's going to actually see America burning. You know, China, all of that. Everyone's going to see it. It's going to be breaking news worldwide. You know? DEFCON 1, America's just been totally torched by nuclear flames, man. And at the same time, other nations are going to be fighting, you know, and then they're going to see Yahushua coming with the angels, and it's lights out from them, man. All your nations are free.
Revelations 18 and quickly from 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her.
Grab that one.
And lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Yeah, they're going to lament. They're going to be crying. Why? Because they're not going to be able to make no more money from that great whore, that great harlot, man. The day of the merchant city. That's talking about America. They ain't talking about no Vatican City, man. Vatican City is not the land of the merchant city or Babylon. For you idiots out there, man. That little small place over there in Italy. That ain't the Vatican. That ain't even Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great is a big merchant city, a place of e-commerce and all that, man. Economy. Where all these major countries and companies and countries make their wealth from, which is America. Import and exporting, man. You know? That's where most of these countries made their wealth. Look at China. How did China become so advanced and so rich over the past 50 years. Because they dealt with America, man.
Yeah.
America made a lot of countries wealthy all over again. That's why they drunk of that wine.
Well, America as well is a big debt nation, and like a lot of countries, because America has the world reserve currency being the dollar,
Yeah,
have
the
got rich
petrodollar, yeah.
of buying American debt, because American debt for the longest was seen as an uncollapsible empire. So if you had American debt and you was buying their debts and essentially being one of their creditors,
Yeah.
you were then also able to leverage that for the longest.
And one of the most of the top countries is Japan, China. All them countries are like the ones with the most of American debt, which they started to, relinquish themselves from, because they see that America's falling now. But they all made themselves rich off that horn, man. That's the rich man and the rich man in Luke 16, Lazarus and the rich man, and the dogs that ate off the crumbs off the table and all that. That's these other nations eating off the rich man's table, which is what represents America, Babylon the Great.
Yeah.
That's why the Lord said, woe unto you that are rich. Woe unto the rich man, woe unto you rich men, James 5 and 1 and all that, roughly paraphrasing. You heap treasures for the last days.
Yeah.
America's free, man. Their gold and silver's cankered, meaning their whole monetary system's falling apart, and that's why they're going to do this great reset and come with this digital wave, man.
Revelation 18 and 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yeah, the merchants ain't talking about America, Babylon the Great, ain't talking about anywhere else. And all the nations are going to wail because they ain't going to be able to make their wealth no more.
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to be free.
Yeah.
Because once America goes down, that's basically the world's going down. America's the head of the head Edomite niggas in charge, put it that way, the HENIC. They're the head Edomite niggas in charge right now, as regards to even the world stage. They still owe the world reserve currency, until that fluctuates, until that gets taken out. But they're still the top guys, man. Everyone still wanders after the image of the beast, So once America collapses, that's basically cutting off the head of the snake. The whole beast is going to collapse. 7 heads and 10 horns, they're going to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, and that also shows that bullshit about Babylon being the Vatican is void, because the Vatican doesn't have any exports. At least not commercial ones anyway. They export that false religion of plantation Christianity, but that's not a commercial asset.
That's not wealthy.
Exactly. No one's going to be mourning about not being able to buy Christianity, so it's some bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man, because at the same time, they're going to try and re-establish themselves with a great reset and all that, but not knowing that's going to even curtail themselves into a deeper ditch that they can't get out of, man. That's just going to lead them down to that path of destruction, which we're talking about, Revelations, is it Revelations 13? No, 11 and 17, so okay, and 11 I think it is. The 8th head that came about the 7th. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Double check real quick. Let's put the 8th head. Should come on. Because that's what America's destination is, man. America was never made to be no eternal kingdom like the kingdom of heaven, man. That's the kingdom of heaven is going to reign for eternity. Why? Because the children of Israel, niggas, Latinos, and Native Americans on this side, starting with the elect, they're going to be living for immortality. They're going to live forever, so they're going to have to rule forever. We're never going to taste of death again in those new bodies, those new extraterrestrial, superhuman bodies that the Lord's going to give us. Once we make it into them chariots, and we get sifted up into them ships. So we're going to... Yeah, 17 and 11. Read it real quick.
Revelation 17 and 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he, is the 8th and is of the 7. And
that's America. The 8th is of the 7. And she had the 5 and all that. Then you had the 6 and 7, which represents Great Britain. There was the 7th. You had the 6, which is Rome. And the other one's Great Asia Minor, Asia Major, Greek, the Greek, French, and Spanish. That's the 7 basically. And the 8th that came about of that was where America gained their independence from who? Great Britain. So that's what they're going to rule for a short space of time, and then the 8th came. And that's been America. And even America, it says that they're going to rule for a short space of time. Revelation 20 and 7, it says that the devil is going to be released from his chains, and he's going to deceive the nations again, but for a short space, a short time. So that for the past 500 years, America's been thriving, or 250 really. from the transatlantic slave trade in 1776, but really from 1620. So part, give it like 400, 500 years they've been living up.
Yeah.
That's a short season. That's half a millennia. You know, which one day to the Lord is 1,000 years. So that's even half of that. That's a short space. That's like half a day basically. They've been ruling for half a day. If you want to look at it spiritually wise, you know, one day to the Lord is 1,000 years. They've been ruling for like 400, 500 years. That's half a day. So that's a very short time. And that's why the Lord said even he's going to cut the time even shorter for the elect's sake. For the elect's sake, the time shall be even cut short. So these devils are really free, man. They've been free. As I said, they ain't got the memo yet. Everything that's happening right now is manifesting from these scriptures that they hate so much, man. But at the same time, they say that they're God-fearing. They're going to learn to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua when he unleashes all these plagues on them, especially the books. That's when these devils are going to really have to bow down. But even then, they're still going to kick up a fuss. But that's just why we're going to have even much more greater fun when Yahushua comes with the angels and the chariots, which are so-called UFOs, and we have to beat down these other nations into subjection, man. We're going to have fun doing it, man. We ain't going to be upset taking the Edomite and dashing these little ones against the stone and beating their asses to death. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be, our hearts are going to meditate terror. We're going to dance in the blood of the wicked. They did it to us. They did it to us. All the foul shit that they did to us in history, man. Some of it's been it's not even written about, man. All the foul shit that they did to. They wrote books on this shit, though, man. Look at what's that devil, man. The Willie Lynch letter. All the shit that he wrote a book on that shit. I had to take down Jake, separate them by color and shit. You know? All these little classes and shit like that. They wrote books on this shit, man, and how they, you know, history is written by the victors, man.
Yeah. That's right, man.
So that's what they did. And they lied about it too. But still to this day, they're calling us some damn fucking Africans. We ain't no damn Africans, man. We're Israelites, man. And they knew who they came to capture. It was just like 1492 with the conquest of Christopher Columbus and his brother Bartholomew and all that. They knew who they was coming to meet because they had Hebrew interpreters on the boats. They had Moors, you know.
Yeah, no.
They had Moors from Spain and all that. So they knew who they was coming to encounter over there in the West, man. Because the Moors was traveling back and forth from America until they lost their power and rulership. They were trading with the Native Americans. They were known to the Native Americans because they were brethren. There's history. It's in the history books about the Moors and the natives, you know, trading and all of that. They knew about the Americans, man. They the one that drew the fucking maps. They drew the maps, man. And the devils, the Spanish, you know, took and found out where the 10 tribes was at.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, man.
So that's all in the history, man. And these devils try and hide that history, but it's all coming out. You know, that's why it says truth shall spring out of the earth. And we don't need no tangible evidence necessarily, but it's part of the truth, innit? It helps to, prove that the word is true. But we rely on faith. Our thing is not by sight and by seeing, it's really by blind faith and all that. But even with a little bit of evidence that just proves the point that, yeah, we got the truth and we know what we're talking about here, man. So from the apostles and elders of Great Mosul on down, we know that Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is dealing with those men, and he gave them the unction to give us this truth today, man. They're the true pastors. Everyone outside of that that's teaching that the mark of the beast is not the chip. They're not prophets, man. They're false prophets, man. I don't care how long they've been in the truth or who they are. If they're not teaching about the mark of the beast being the seed, that's a false prophet, man. They're anti-Messiah, man. They're anti-Yahushua. How about that? Niggas want to hate Antichrist. You niggas are Antichrist, man. How about that? They don't want to teach this whole truth.
That's right.
Those for Deacon the car and the Sard, them demons, them MIA niggas, missing in action. The rest of these guys out here that don't want to teach you how about Shem Yahushua and teach you about the mark of the beast, they're all anti-Messiah, anti-Yahushua. You're not teaching his doctrine.
Yeah,
so that means you're against him.
Yeah, no.
Paul spoke of that in the book of Philippians, man. Said he was sore tears and all that, the enemies of the cross.
Yeah. Well, he also wrote, one of his other letters to the churches, if any man, even an angel from heaven, preach another Yahushua,
another gospel,
you might as well forbear with him, man. Because we're supposed to be defenders of the gospel. That's why, as it is written in 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter and 15th verse, we're supposed to study to show ourselves approved, working on rightfully dividing the word of truth, And
what's the main thing the Lord always say? He that hold fast until he come. Hold on to what? This doctrine. Because there's going to be guys in the last days that's going to pervert it, man.
Yeah.
Guys are coming out of the woodworks talking all kinds of shit, man.
Yeah.
Saying all kinds of madness, man. Perverting the gospel, you know? Teaching about hell and all this. But even now the Christians are coming out now saying that they don't believe in that hell shit. This is all fables, man. It's all mythos, man. All part of the Jewish fables that these devils, that Jake set up during the time of Constantine, which were wicked niggas. That pagan worship, man, sun worship and that. That's what hell is all about. About taking money from the poor, man, and enriching yourself, filthy lucre. But the Lord spoke about these things, man. He said there will be men out there that will deceive you for filthy lucre, be agents of Satan and all that, you know. We had it back then and we're going to have it now. Many false prophets have come out. And there's still going to be a lot of them lingering around. But they're going to be destroyed anyway. That's just part of the parcel of being in the truth. Stumbling blocks and all of that.
Teresa.
Go ahead, huh?
This is Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yep.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
Yeah, our salvation is very near, man. And how do we know that? Because we're watching and being real watchmen. We're seeing the signs of the times, man. We're seeing the sedition, like you just mentioned the situation with the Spanish immigration and all that, all the Moroccans and shit.
Yeah.
That's all part of the breakdown of society, man. The breakdown of the 10 toes and all that. Yeah. Even if it's a setup or something or whatever, it just shows that everything, the whole police system is breaking down from within. It's an insurrection. And it's the Lord that's doing it. The Lord's the one that's just destroying these nations from within, man.
Right. But that was the small hats, but now you've got it to where Spain is at beef with its nations because it's getting critiques for how it's handled the situation. Yeah. But now you've got other European nations and Spain is getting ostracized because they don't want to let America also use their bases in their war with and their airspace in the war with Iran. So it's causing splinters, man. Because the scripture was always spoke about how the 10 toes are not going to cleave as one. Exactly. And brothers always knew there was going to be infight, and we didn't know exactly how it was going to happen and which particular, European nations were going to be at it. But now, the Lord is showing it.
What did the Lord say after that? In the days of these kings, someone get that, Daniel 2 and 40. In the time of these kings, what is the Lord going to do? He's going to let these devils destroy themselves, and then he's going to step in by way of his son, Yahweh Shai, and he's going to totally take over. And set up his kingdom in righteousness, man. And it's not going to be left to any other nation. So these other nations, especially the Edomites, this is their time to rule. This is their last time to rule. Any heathen nation. After this, no heathen nation is ever going to rise up into power ever again. It's just going to be Israel and Israel forever and ever. And ever and ever.
Yeah.
That's it, man. We're going to reign for eternity and then some, man. There's going to be everlasting rulership. A never ending. Like a never ending story, that movie. That's how we're going to rule the kingdom. A never ending story, man. Yasha Allah. Starting with the elect. So we're gonna have fun, like brothers always mention, especially Elder Kazak from out there in Mississippi and all that. He's always mentioning like the scripture where it says about a day in the Lord's kingdom is like, better than 1,000 days on this side, man. We're gonna have time to. We ain't lived yet. Apostle Elder Gabar always says that, man. We ain't lived. We're just existing, man. Paying bills and shit. Catching hell. That's what we're still slaves.
Yeah.
We ain't free. Niggas think they were free because they got some fake emancipation, man. Not knowing that you're still a slave, you're a digital slave now. You got a social security number. And they're actually going to put that shit underneath your skin to make sure you know that you're just a barcode now. That's basically what they want to turn you into, a battery. Yeah. A barcode. A product of services, man. That's all it is. They want to brand their cattle, man. That's how much they look at you. That's how much they consider you an actual human being. They want to brand you as a piece of cattle. A commodity, like they did in the transatlantic slave trade. We was commodities, man. Look at the way they mishandled us and treated us, man. They manhandled us, man. That's how they look upon Jake, man. They looked at us as less than human beings that they wanted to brand. But now they actually got a device they can actually stick underneath your skin and your forehead and actually brand you, man. They say, yeah, this belongs to me. This is my purchase. This is my... Like they're doing this, 12, I mentioned it last week, 12 days a slave with Solomon Northup and all that. When his slave came to collect him, he came to collect what he owned. He owned Solomon, man. He owned his life, basically. Yeah. So anyone else that took him was basically like committing theft or robbery. Because slavers are not supposed to steal other people's slaves.
Yeah. That's why they got branded in that, man.
Yeah, they got branded in shit, the same shit. So when he came, he was like, yeah, this is my slave, I own him.
Yeah.
Literally, that was his property, but he looked at it, we was their property, commodity, man.
Took the surname of your slave owner and that. Like,
Yeah. So really, his name wasn't Solomon Northup, that was his slave owner's name, Northup, or whatever the fuck it was. He had a Hebrew name, but that got beaten out of him. Like I show you in Roots. Your name is Toby. Our original Hebrew names are customs and all that got beaten out of us. Our customs, that's why we started acting like they living the way of the westernized, just like the Hellenization, we started living the westernization.
yeah, facts.
Because our customs got beaten out of us. We discontinued from our heritage. It told you in Jeremiah. That was part of the punishment, man. We lost our way. But then the Lord had mercy and he set up a remnant so that we couldn't all totally be destroyed and lost forever. He has a remnant that will not bow their knees down to Baal and that he's going to raise up in these last days, which he has. And now we're coming to the end of this bitch, man. Because our enemies are seeing us rising up as a nation. You know, a spiritual army around the four winds of the earth. That's why they want to shut down the internet, man. They want to come after, they're going to demonize us, they're going to come after this truth. They're going to put brothers in prison. That's coming soon, man. The demonization, the famine of the word. That's why I don't be expected to come out every weekend and speak and all that. You got to get in your mindset that things ain't always going to be like this from who knows, for the next month or two, 6 months from now, we're definitely not going to be out here teaching every weekend because things are getting heated, man. They're going to call for a bit of like a draft and shit. A lot of people, a lot of men are going to be like taking over there to the Middle East. You ain't going to be seeing a lot of people in the cities no more. Cities are going to become barren and shit, but become more quiet like when Seafood happened. Seafood became ghost towns and shit, man. Major cities in that lake where you used to see thousands and hundreds of people walking around in the major cities, the merchants, like the Agora and all that. That shit was like the ghost city, man. The ghost city, man. You can hear the winds and all that shit, man. That's how quiet it was. It's kind of eerie and shit. I was walking, I remember walking through the central and all that. Certain parts of Central, it's just eerie, man. Because it's so quiet, you got all them fucking big ass demonic buildings. It's just like you just, walking past and you can like it's some demonic energy around you. And you can feel it, man. It's so demonic when you're just walking through the major city of London, man. You can feel the energy, it's like pure witchcraft. You can feel it, man. All them demonic ass buildings, lodges everywhere, every fucking corner. You got little doorways and shit. You go to different lodges, underground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that statues.
Yeah, man. It's all sick shit, man. Yeah, all them statues of the ghouls and all that shit, that demonic shit. Don't go around the embankment at night, in the middle of the night when there's lights out and all that shit, man. I'm telling you, man. That embankment area, when they got that big, I don't know what it is. It looks like a church, bro. It's like that big fucking, and they always got them eerie lights there, bro. They always put them red lights. It's either red or some bright blue or green. In the middle of the night, they just turn them on like some demonic energy. Or you go there in the middle of the night, just walking around thinking you're a tourist, bro. You're gonna end up missing one of these days, man. That place is eerie, bro. I know they're definitely taking little children up there and doing their way with it, having their way with it.
London has a lot of Masonic lodges as well, all over. North, south, east, west, central.
London's like the original witch haven, man. When London, when these devils took over, the nobilities and the black nobility and all that, which is Edomites, they turned this place into a real demonic zone, man. Like, high levels of witchcraft was going on. Central London and all that. That's why they got all them, like Leicester Square, they got all them lodges there and all that. The people just walk past them like to say it's nothing. The Grand Hotel and all these different things. Got lodges everywhere, man.
Nah, even with the hospitality venues, like you got like deep in that sort of region. In the southwest of London, like the Fulham area, which is another wealthy Edomite part of London. Chelsea. You got like hella Masonic centres there. There's even a famous pub there known as the Mason's Arms. And then they got the pyramid and the all-seeing eye capstone right on the logo, right on the. Bro, it's crazy. Like, and it's right in your face. Like you.
Bro, funny look. Last week, my cousin was having a little situation, little party, with a get together, family, whatever. And guess what restaurant he chose to go to? Gilgamesh in Leicester Square. But it originally used to be in Chelsea, but they closed it down and renovated it, whatever. And they built one in the heart of Leicester Square. And the Gilgamesh, it goes back to that Babylonian worship, the Syrian Babylonian. And they, even on the menu, you can look on the website and all that, it's called the Babylonian menu, man. Babylonia and all that. And it's got all them older Syrian drawings and shit on the walls and that, Gilgamesh, all that idol worship of ancient Babylon,
Ancient
man.
Babylon, the half man,
Man
half
was
bird.
expecting me to pay for my own ticket to go in there and eat. Amongst it, and eat some Babylonian dishes. I was like, fuck that, I'm not wasting my money to go down there. The Lord had it where I didn't even, like, I'm not going to go down anyway. I wasn't in the spirit for that, man. But when I saw that, I was like, look at all places in the world, you're going to choose this restaurant, man. All because it's upper class and it's them cracker spots, man, them rich, wealthy, Chelsea, made in Chelsea type Edomite spots. Because that originally we used to see that shop. I originally remember that restaurant because they actually showed it in that Made in Chelsea series, man. That's where them Edomites used to go. So that shows you Esau's in that high level of witchcraft. They love it, man. They're about that rebellious spirit, man. That's why they love all that sorcery and shit, the dark arts. And they push it in their society, man, and push it around, you know, and make it look normalized for that to say anyone can just be a part of it. Indirectly or directly, man, you know, it's mad. Then they do all these lewd parties and shit in the middle of the night, swing parties and so on and so forth, eyes wide shut type shit. Madness, man. But that's the way of the West, man. You want to make it in society, you got to be part of that club. And that's why you got the black boule niggas as well, all that demonic shit. Because even they're saying now with this whole Nolan Wells situation, that was basically a cult sacrifice to start off a race riot, man. And it could be, we're not, you know, we're conspiracy theorists, man. So you know, we deal with conspiracy truth. So we can look at that and see that is definitely could have been a cult sacrifice. Because the way they mishandled the evidence and how they treated the whole situation, the little cracker you ain't even been arrested yet, but did the murder. You know, it's all been videotaped and recorded of what they did, and no one's been arrested yet, man.
It's very cool. Yeah.
But they show you pictures of the kids going into some Masonic island. I think it was called, what was it called? I can't remember. But I saw the video on it. And the guy did the video and saying that the island that they went to is basically had an obelisk and they're standing in front of it taking the picture. Come on, man. The three Edomite youths and the black youth, they're all there in front of the obelisk taking a picture. The same island. I think they call it Masonic Island, some shit like that. That's the same place where they killed the youth or whatever. Dumped him in water. You know? So it was all a sacrifice, man. They all to kick off and push that vibration of race riots and that's what the Edomite was saying. Don't be fooled and all that. We're not fooled. Because we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. You know? And then you got all these boule niggas that they use to pacify Jake and all that. You know, it's the same characters every time, man. Yeah. The same characters they used during the George Foreman and what's the name? George Floyd and all these different cases. The same guy actors, man. You know.
Yeah.
That they used then, they're using now. So that's what they're going to use to pacify the crowd, but also to push that vibration of race riot season, man. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. We're in that time. That's right. That's that thing I want to. They showed a picture. You know, that nigga Mills. You know, he does that video. He's a conspiracy theorist. He showed a video basically of a youth hanging out of the windows in Buckingham Palace, man, trying to escape. And you can see him butt-ass naked. And he's trying to climb out the window with some towels and shit, but then he drops. So he didn't make it, man. He's done. He's toast. You see him climbing out the fucking window, bro. Little baby, looks like a little baby, man. Just trying to climb out the window. And you can see the man with the horses and that, riding past, like. So right in front, Buckingham Palace, one of them bait windows, he's trying to climb out, and then he drops like this, like, oh shit. And you know he just collapsed, he's done for his toast after that.
I got a quick one.
So these devils do all kinds of foul shit in them different monasteries and castles and all them buildings in Central, man. High levels of witchcraft, man. PDF filers. Go ahead,
This is Proverbs 29 and 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall.
Yeah, we're going to see their fall, man. Why? Because Yahweh Shem Shai is going to make it happen. It's the Most High ruler in the kingdom of men. That's what Esau forgot, that part of the deal. When the Lord set you up, you thought that you set yourself up, not knowing it was the Heavenly Father, you dumbass. And he's the same one that's going to relinquish your crown too. You know? He gave you the blessing of the sword to take over the whole earth, but you didn't read the small print saying at the end, you're going to have to, you know, he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword, man. And he that leadeth to captivity shall go into captivity. That was part of the small print. You didn't read that part of the deal. You thought you were just going to sail off into the sunset in your new world, the dystopian order. But that's not going to happen, man. Right when you're out to fill your belly, that's when the Lord going to pull the plug in your whole regime, your whole device, and you're going to get hit with all kinds of nuclear fire from every corner of the earth, man.
That's right.
And your shit's just going to be destroyed.
Precept. This is Revelation chapter 12 and 12.
Yep.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
Yeah, these people, man, they're living in a la-la land, man. Ignorance is not bliss, man. There's going to come a time when the economy collapses, you're not going to have enough food resources to feed you and your kids. You're going to be panic buying. You'll be running to the petrol station trying to get the last little drips of oil for your tank or your car and all that. That's not going to deliver you. You're going to be running to all Sainsbury's and Asda's to get the last groceries that you can find. And they're going to be in hyperinflated prices and shit. Hyperinflation is going to come back in a major way.
Yeah.
It ain't even happened yet, but that's going to happen. Because there's going to be a lack of resources, man. Revelation, the black horse, penny a week, and all that, day's wage. You're going to have to spend a day's wage just to get a loaf of bread, man.
Yeah.
If you can even find it in that day. And these people and their kids and all that, they're going to be panicked, but they're going to be going crazy. Because they're not going to be able to feed them and their kids. They might be able to deal with it for like first 24 hours or something like that, but after a while, kids are going to be crying, moaning, going crazy. Woman's going to be losing her mind because she ain't got faith like that. Yeah. Husband's going to be like scratching his head, not knowing what to do. Then he's going to have to step out and go to the next door neighbours and ask questions and try and see if they got any spares. And that's when all the contention is going to happen, man. People are going to have to start rolling on each other to get food and resources. They're going to, love of belly's going to wax cold. Yeah, man.
In them kind of situations, it's always the weak that end up getting preyed on first. You're going to hear stories about women having their houses broken into, and like men just coming up and rolling up on women and taking them too. And then
what's the main thing that's happening right now? A lot of these women want to be solo. Talking about independence and all that. Walk around late at night in parks and shit. Walking on the highway and dead at night, thinking that they're just safe because they're just walking in the city. And no one's gonna touch them because you're a female. Not knowing that there's predators everywhere, man, and people are gonna be lurking and looking for you, especially in that time. You want to talk about your independence, you're gonna start getting knocks on your door. Different hours of the night, different hours of the day. So one day you're gonna be thinking shit sweet, and then it's gonna be hearing bare broken glass, people trying to break entry into your apartment and shit, trying to take your shit, trying to take you. If you got kids and all that, really grab them up too. It's gonna get violent out here, man. All because of the lack of bread. All because of the lack of bread. The great tribulation, like I told you, 2nd Ezra 16. Oh, you got that one?
I got 50, yeah.
15, so yeah, for the lack of bread, people are gonna go ape shit on each other, man. And then that's when he's all gonna come down slowly but surely with gradualism and bring forth that chip society. That chip situation has already been set up, and you got the DPI. Bill Kill Gates was talking about the digital public infrastructure, which just says to use it, you're gonna have to have CBDCs, but you have to have a digital ID to use this system. And anyone that's outside of that, basically, you're gonna be outlaws. You're gonna be like off the grid, because you ain't gonna be able to buy and sell unless you have a digital ID and be part of that DPI infrastructure that they're setting up, which is basically the mark of the beast system, which we've been telling you is happening right before your eyes, and people are still living in ignorance, man. The worst of them all is our people, man. Supposed to be in this truth, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but you're still ignorant on the fact that the mark of the beast is the chip. Because a bunch of you are a bunch of sellouts anyway, man. Which is coming up, This is the year for that. Go ahead, up.
So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Yeah, and it's mainly because of what? Pride, man. These people don't fear Yahweh Shem Shai. They're walking around all proud and shit. Like you just had that group of families walking through the park. They're living in their fantasy world. You know what I'm saying? They're in their fantasy world thinking this is what life's about. Family time and all that. Chilling in the park on the weekend. Not knowing that their life could change over 24 hours just like that, man. Just like they leave the world behind type situation, man.
I was just
Everything
thinking
could just
about
change in the blink of an eye. Just like when 9/11 happened, the world changed, man. No one expected that to happen. Rats jumping out of the damn, small hats jumping out of the damn skyscrapers and shit, dropping to their death. No one expected that day. It happened, you know. Some fake imagery of planes crashing into the building and all that, you know, psyops and all these different things. It happened, man. But the whole world changed on that after that whole event. Literally the whole world. And that happened in America. There was a breaking news around. I remember I was like 16 when that happened, man. Breaking news around the whole world, man. Everyone was, you know, everyone's eyes was glued to the TV and that day. Like, what the fuck happened? The Twin Towers is on fire and building 7s is falling and all this other shit. Brothers wasn't in the truth back then. It was like young men, 16 teenagers, didn't know what was going on. But we know now. We know it's all a setup, man. For the times that we're living in now, it's all Intel, you know, what's the word? Basically, this is all part of the agenda. I was trying to figure out the word, but I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue right now.
You know, what you were talking about in regards to the cities being emptied. When Trump decides that he's going to launch this ground invasion, you got to remember that Iran has a population of 93 million people. Great Britain, for context, the whole UK, including Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England, is 63 million people. Like, Iran has like literally a third more people in it than the UK does, and those people are ready for war. Like, I was watching a retired military veteran stories. He was on Vlad TV and he was talking. It was a Jake.
Yeah, you know, Jake, the one with the plaques.
Yeah, the one with the plaques, and he was talking about his experiences of being a sniper in war. Yeah, and he was saying, "Yo, in Iraq, yeah, and which and those are Armenians. Look, that's ancient Persia. They're not far off." He saw situations where they were running up military. They were running in the military gear up mountains. So they've got their training, they got their specialist gear, their visors, and all of that. And then you got these Ishmaelites, these Arabs, they're wild men. And of course, the Iranians and the Persians, but they have similarities. But these Ishmaelites were running up the mountains and fuck with AK-47s and flip-flops, bro. Just like literally just
picking them off.
With no military training, bro. Just literally sandals and flip-flops, running up the mountain like a goat, bro. Just like
guerrilla warfare.
Taking them out,
They use guerrilla warfare, man. They're tactical.
Yeah, man.
They don't just come out of the wood. They come out, you know, they hide, they attack, and then they hide again. That's how they do. And then they set up little bomb, little attacks, like little places where they can attack you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And you know, even another thing he said, which is important and it's so true, is like over here, the women are domesticated. Like you see over there, like, you know, the women are out here, they're pregnant, take your pictures. Over there, the women, bro, like he was talking stories about how like they'll be in the streets in the middle of the city fight, doing a gunfight, and the women are opening the door, little kids. Pop, like literally,
on that life.
That's
what America's not used to. That's like America, the virgin daughter. Americans are not used to that living that coming out their door. No, like niggas do that little hood shit and all that, but that's not an everyday thing. You don't see Edomites like, you know, getting attacked on their doorstep and all that, or you know, car bombs going off and, you know, buildings and getting hit with, you know, shellings and drone attacks and all that. Americans never have that, but it's coming. That's what America's gonna be very soon. It's gonna come, especially when they let off them IDF soldiers. They've gathered them IDF soldiers over there to the Americas, man. They let them loose on the citizens, especially you 12 tribes, 2/3. They're gonna run ravage on you, man. That's why I said Revelation 12 and 12. They're gonna come, you know, very, very wicked, man. They're gonna be like madmen spraying on. 2nd Ezra 16 tells you, man. They're not gonna spare Jake, man. 2/3 of you, and the Lord's gonna be with it too. The Lord's gonna put the spirit on Esau to just, like he did during the transatlantic slave trade, to just go through you. Like, you know, just tread through you, man, and not have no mercy. And that's exactly what's going to happen during the time of Jacob's trouble. That's why the angels are going to have to come and step in for the elect's sake, man. Because it's going to get that bloody out here. And that heartless too. That merciless, man. The Lord's just going to let Esau reign of terror on 2/3 of you like never before, man. And he's going to be executing you on sight, all of that shit. You and your damn kids, all of these different things, man. Them IDF soldiers, them Israeli soldiers, they don't give a fuck about Jake. They hate Jakes, man. Look how they're treating the Palestinians, man. You think they're gonna treat you, any of you Jakes any better? They're gonna treat you worse. They've been going back and forth with them Arabs for how many years, man? Look at them, all the videos that's coming out, how they've been treating all them Palestinians and all that, raping up with the women and so on and so forth. And doing fucking. So what do you think they're gonna do to you 12 tribes when they get over here, man? And when they get over to the Americas, man? Which are probably over there already. Just getting ready for that hour. Getting ready for that release date. When they're gonna get let loose. Like they show you that movie, I always mention The First Purge. When that was based in the hood and that, and they made Jake take the tracking device and shit, saying that you can get this $2,000 of credit or whatever. You take the tracking device for 24 hours or whatever, that's 12 hours, and record what's going on, murders and all that shit. Well, in that same movie, what did they do? Because nothing was going on, and people would start having parties. They started having block parties instead of killing each other, right? Because you know how Jake do. Jake was like, nah, man, we can't kill my neighbor and all that. We're chilling. We're gonna get credits anyway, so let's just have a party and keep it going until morning, innit? You know, even though they all took the device, that chip was basically the example of people taking the chip. Jakes are going to be taking the chip willingly in the hood, especially the bigger woman, because she want to feed them damn kids, you know, and get them little hair cosmetics and so on and so forth. She wants to start, she wants to keep living that lifestyle, getting her nails did and all that. So she's going to run for that chip. But they also show you that they had to just basically set up agent provocateurs. They had Russian soldiers domesticated, acting like they were actual American citizens, but they were chilling in garages and all that.
You get a lot of that.
And so when the time came, it was like, look, man, we're gonna have to pull the plug because we're gonna have to push the button. Because nothing's happening. We were watching it for a couple of hours and no one was dying. Like, it was like, bro, these men are having block parties. What's going on? Supposed to be killing each other. So basically, to push that button, they released the Russian merchants, man. And they came out the caravans with all their cars, and then what happened next after that? They started wiping out the niggas in the hood. They got into all the churches, burning up the churches, killing everyone that's in there. And you know, nigger women and all these dumb niggas are going to be running to them churches thinking that's the place to be for salvation when all hell's breaking loose. That's it. That's going to be your burial place, man. That's going to be your gravesite. Ain't going to be no salvation. You run into the damn church expecting the pastor to have all the answers. He works for the government, man. He's COINTELPRO. That's the worst place you want to be at that time. Is he going to be telling you to take the chip instead of telling you not to take the chip? The damn church pastors that you people love at the door so much. They're the worst of worst of his time when it comes to being false prophets. Because they're straight up working for the devil, man. You know, to deceive you, to make you think that they're servants of the Lord. And they don't even believe in Yahweh Shem Yoshai. They're coming with that white Jesus madness, man. They're coming with that false Messiah talk, man. So they released the Asian provocateurs, which were all Russian, basically merchants, and you know the Russians hate Americans. So they just went through the ghetto and started wiping men out. That's indicative of the times that we're talking about now. When the IDF soldiers get released on new tribes during the hour of martial law, Jacob's trouble, they're going to be merciless, man. If you thought they was cheating the Palestinians, man, what are they going to do to you, Jake? Especially you nigger women with your loud mouths, man. With your loud mouth. Sloppy, with your loud mouth. Never know when to shut up or take the L. Thinking that you can't get hurt because you're a woman and all that. They're gonna break your shit, man. They're gonna destroy you.
Well, you know, now as well, like it's a bad time for black women in the court of social media and public opinion, because right now you got it to where so many celebrities are getting accused of the rape by these so-called black women, whether it's Michael Ward or it's that weirdo young Philly.
50 Shades of Philly.
Yeah, you know, all of them kinds of individuals. But like a lot of these women are getting found basically to be lying and to be fabricating stories. There's even this ratchet from Hong Kong, the bitch from Hong Kong. You had a Jake woman from Hong Kong that basically tried to blackmail a banker. She met him in Thailand. You know about Bangkok. He said, yo, I'll fly you out to Hong Kong. You know, she was prosy. Straight up prosy. That's prosy activity. He said, I'll fly you to Hong Kong. They both were originally from the UK. She said, cool, all good. He went there. He lived there. She went there. The shit went down. And then she woke up the next morning and tried to say, yeah, he raped her and said, yeah, man, you know, I'm gonna name my price in a nutshell. And she got arrested for blackmail, which is good for her black ass, man. You know?
That's the women, man. You women think, because, you know, you can follow the trends of all these other, you know, wicked ass women out here throughout the ages. And the courts are on your side. But now Esau's pulling back. He's reneging on that Faustian bargain that Eve made with the serpent in the garden. Now he's reneging, man. Now he's not going to help you in these last days. That's why it talks about you careless daughters. Rise up, you careless daughters that are at ease. Because this society, this society is, concentrated on making the woman live an easy life and making it hard for the man. That's why they always wanted to kick the man out of the house so the woman can live an easy life and get all the welfare and all that benefits. But now all that shit's getting cut off, and now because people are getting so much fed up with these women and their false allegations and not getting no retaliation for their, because they'll go to police and give a false account. Then, and even if it's not true, the man, she just goes on with her life. But the man's career's done. He's toast. He's finished. He's through. Even though if he's found innocent, with young Philly, even though it was a bit extreme on what he was doing, as I said, it's 50 Shades of Philly, because he was following the lifestyle of the Edomites, man. The rich Edomites in 50 Shades of Grey, so they like to go a bit too extreme with the sex and all that, from BDSM type of shit. But they do that and get away with it because this is their world, man. The Jake, get a taste of that, want to do that Diddy shit, but they get lost, man. You're not an Edomite. You're still a nigga, man. You're just a nigga that's got a little bit of money and fame. You're still a nigga though, so you're not gonna, live an Edomite's lifestyle and sail off into the sunset and think you're never gonna get held accountable for your crimes that you committed. Obviously, you got caught, and they dealt with you how they dealt with you, like a nigga. They had mercy upon you because really it was Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and they had mercy upon you, because the bitch that tried to set him, the Edomite bitch that tried to set him up, she was a crackhead. She was all kinds of mad drugs, and she was a fanatic, but she was like a stan. She was like a stan trying to follow him and trying to hunt him down basically. She was a super fanatic of this guy Philly. So it came out in the courts, and then obviously, that's why he got exonerated and all that. And it was all back in the sexual was by consent anyway. It wasn't like he forced himself on that. It's just like he did that extra shit, that 50 Shades of Grey type shit. That's why I call him the 50 Shades of Young Philly. But yeah, now he knows how to move. But his career's done. He can't come back to getting his sponsors, and he's gonna have to find some other means or ways to try and make money. Even though he got a little, his notoriety and all that is still there, but he can't get the money he once was gonna get as a streamer and all that. Well, not even a streamer, as a content creator. He was gonna be like the UK version of Kai Cenat if he stayed on that a show speed, ISO speed or whatever. He was on that level to get into that wavelength, but he got halted. He got stopped short mid uprisings and all that, whatever you want to call it. But the woman that committed a false allegation, she just gets to, so now they're like, nah, we're not gonna have none of that. That's why that bitch in Hong Kong, she thought she could try and blackmail a banker. Are you stupid, bro? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That ain't, and a nigga woman like that, you stupid, ratchet little whores, think you can, because other women are doing it, you think you can just get away with it because you're a woman.
Crazy.
Now she's in jail in Hong Kong eating all kinds of, bird's nest soup and whatever kind of abominations, discoursing with them fucking heathens over there in them jail cells, man.
Yeah, that's a crazy.
Getting treated like shit over there probably as well.
Yeah.
Probably a dyke already and all that, man. Yeah, but that's what happens, man. If you women are not gonna get away with it, man, it's a warrant to you women that are at ease. You women are gonna start catching hell. And in that time of the hour of martial law, Jacob's trouble, that's when you women are really gonna start feeling it, man. You're really gonna start feeling the burn, where no one's gonna come to your aid. Because you women talk about independence this and independent that. But who always comes to your aid and you're an independent woman? A man. Whether it's a policeman, a fire brigade man, ambulance, nurses, doctors, it's always a man that comes to their aid, right? Captain Saverholes, even they don't had enough of saving you women. Captain Saverholes are not even jumping in for your defense no more. Men are just like, she's getting jacked up in the middle of the street. Let her deal with that. Like you part of the video of the dogs attacking them two black bitches, them big Shirleys, getting attacked by the pit bull, man. Everyone was just watching. No one jumped in.
Yeah, one man was like, yo, should I get out of the car? His friend was like, no, stay
everyone was on slow motion, man. Everyone was just sitting back watching her getting devoured. She's just there screaming in the middle, trying to jump into the car. Dogs running around the car, jumping in, biting up the other gal and just tearing their asses up. And no one was coming to their aid. No Captain Saverholes in that day. That's the times they're coming into you. And you women, you've lived in pleasure all your life, and that's death. She that living in pleasure of her life is dead already. So now all that comfort, all that living at ease, them days is over, man. That's what it says, lament for your teats. the money's not going to come in no more. The welfare, all the checks are going to be cut off. You're going to be destitute, and that's why Isaiah 4:1 is going to come into play. A lot of women are going to be out here just have to bow down and kiss the ring of the men, not just any man too, the Israelite man. They're going to realize that the man is the prize. You women still online talking shit about they're the prize. You know you're not the prize. The man is the prize. The man is the one that holds the royal seeds in his cojones, so to speak, in the crown, so to speak, man. That's embedded in him. It's not in you women. You're just an incubator, man. You're not the prize, man. The man is the prize. It don't matter if there was only one woman left on the planet Earth. As long as there's a man around, population can be repopulated. What's an example of that? Noah and the flood. Noah and his 3 sons
Child of Benjamin as well.
repopulated the whole earth between 3 men.
Yeah.
Ham, Shem, and Japheth, man. Repopulated 18 nations out of those 3 men from their loins, man. Them and their 3 wives, and then the wives that came after them, and so on and so forth, and they multiplied. You know? So that shows you that it don't matter how many women are left on the earth, as long as there's a man around, seed can be, utilized. Seed can be, birthed. You know? That's all you need is one seed.
Yeah.
And you can start life all over again. That's why do you think the Lord will kill 2/3 of his own people and start off with the 1/3, which is a small number, 144,000. Compared to all the Israelites on the earth, that's a very small number. That's minute, man. Because we're supposed to be as the sand in the sea. So that means there's millions upon millions and millions of jakes. And out of those millions and millions, the Lord's only going to save a small cluster, a cluster of grapes, as the scripture calls it. You know? You're going to sift them.
Yeah.
And they're going to repopulate the earth all over again. They'll repopulate the nation of Israel all over again. Go ahead.
Hey, well, look what the Lord did with little Benjamin, man. You know, like, Benjamin got slain to asunder.
Yep.
And the whole nation of Israel said they were never going to give their daughters unto marriage unto Benjamin. And the doors of Shiloh got opened up. And now, Benjamin's back again, man.
Yeah, the whole tribe is there. The whole tribe of
The
Benjamin
whole tribe is there.
It was called Little Benjamin for a reason. Because we was actually reduced down to nearly naught after the wars and all that between the infighting and all that between the tribes. But the Lord had mercy and said, yeah, man, go into the tents of Shiloh and grab up them little heifers there, take as many as you can, and have your way with them, man, and breed. That was the first commandment the Lord gave man when he made the earth and made in creation. Be fruitful, multiply, man. That was the first commandment. So the Lord's always about us breeding. The Lord's never been about not spreading the seed. That's the main thing the Lord told us to do. Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. You know? Take over. Even in this new movie, Superman, what did he tell him? His parents was telling him, even though they distorted the message, but what did his parents say, Jarrell and all that, his mother, saying in the video? And notice they don't even mention his mother's name, but they always mention the father's name, Jarrell.
Yeah.
It's from the house of El and all that. They don't mention the woman's not important, man. The woman's just a woman. The woman means a female servant, man. She's not important. Even in that movie, Superman, no one knows the name of the mother. You know the name of his mother?
No.
Kal-El's mother? Do you know the name of Kal-El's mother, bro? No one knows, man. Not even the fucking script writer knows, man. All you know is about Jarrell, the father, and then you know about Kal-El.
Yeah.
That's it. And General Zod and all that, man.
Yeah.
No one knows about who the mother. You seen the mother in the movie and all that. All in the movies, you seen the mother and all that. No one knows her name, man.
Yeah.
Her name could be Zara for all we know, man. Who knows? But we know about Jarrell because it's all about the father. And he's from the house of El. House of God, which is the Israelites, basically. So even they show you in the cartoons and the animations, all like the movies. And what did his parents tell him? Basically, grab up all the women and replenish them and bring back your nation. Because Krypton was destroyed. So he said, yeah, go into Earth, you're going to become superhuman, they're going to look to you as a god. And you take their women, like Conan was saying. You take their women and you reprocreate, man. Bring back the seed, man. Bring back the nation. Just that one man, he can bring back the whole of Krypton again. That's what the Lord told, that's what his parents told Kal-El to do, Superman. And when the people heard what he said, what the message said, even though Lex Luthor distorted the message, they was all looking at him and was sure like, oh, you come to put us in slavery and all that. It's like, oh. But that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right then, man.
Yeah.
Take the world, man. That's what we're going. What do you think Yahweh Shai is coming to do when he comes back? You think he's coming to shake hands with you and drink tea and coffee?
I got that for you.
You think he's gonna go to Buckingham Palace and have a meeting with King Charles, eating crumpets and all that? King Charles is going into slavery. King Charles is gonna be one of Yahweh Shai's personal slaves, man, in the kingdom, man. All these kings, the Rothschilds and all that, all these top elite bankers, and they're gonna be some of the top slaves in Yahweh Shai's kingdom. How about that? They're gonna be there on ball and chain, taking orders. It says our king shall minister. It said Isaiah 60. Might as well get that. You know,
I got that.
You got that?
we're gonna take them down, man. The Lord's gonna have personal slaves too. The Lord ain't just gonna be there, the Lord's gonna have slaves too. It's His kingdom, man. What do you think, man? The Lord's not gonna enjoy it?
So. Yeah, rightfully so. The Lord's gonna have 100% enjoyment. He said it. Go on, bro. Go on.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Their kings shall minister unto thee. So all these top kings, Prince of Sweden, all these different devils, enjoying their life, living that luxurious lifestyle, thinking shit sweet. They're going into slavery. They're going to be the first crops of slaves, man. You know? That's why they got to enjoy what they have now until it finished, because in the kingdom to come, they ain't gonna have none of that again. They're not gonna see ever. They're never gonna see riches ever again in their life. They're just gonna be living a poor, base lifestyle, man, of hardcore slavery. They're gonna be treated like worse than Charleston Heston was in Planet of the Apes. That's how they're gonna be treated, man.
They deserve it.
Exactly. They deserve it. You know, them that sow wickedness reap the same. So they're gonna get exactly what they deserve, man. And these devils, man. That's why we can't even put into words what we're gonna do to them, because the movies and all that, they can only illustrate certain, emotions and all that. But really, when we get them in the kingdom, man, that first day, first hour, man, brothers is just gonna be letting loose.
100%.
You don't even know how crazy we're gonna be. Like, we're gonna be so, and we're gonna have those new bodies and all that power, man. You're gonna be exploding, man. You're gonna be, you're gonna be exploding on these heathens, man. You're gonna be starting to wipe them out in masses, man. King of Isaiah didn't do enough, throwing 10,000 at a time off a cliff. He didn't do enough, man. We gonna be on steroids, man. That type of level, chafed in the spirit. The house of David. Like the scriptures told you, King David and his men were chafed in the spirit. We're gonna be pissed, man. We're gonna need someone to take that anger out on.
100%.
So you heathens are gonna get it. Your women are gonna get in the bed chambers, your daughters and all that. You know?
Reset.
It's all good, man. Revenge is sweet.
Luke 12 and 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? And then you read the Greek word there for the phrasing, what will I? And it is the Greek word fellow, which means to will, have in mind, to intend, to be resolved or to be determined to. So really the transliteration is, I am come to send fire upon the earth, and my intention is for it to be already kindled.
It will be.
Yeah, man.
When the Lord comes, it's going to be on fire anyway.
Yeah.
He's going to add more fire.
That's it, man.
More fire.
More
That's what
fire.
the Lord's coming to do. This place, America is literally going to be on fire. Why? Because the nukes are going to be going off.
Yeah.
And then the Lord going to come with the chariots and add more fire with the laser beams, man. And be shooting them down on people, burning people up. Angels going to be in different parts of the earth, shooting lasers on people, burning people up, burning down standing images, graven images.
Yeah.
You know, like, this place is free, man. People don't understand it's going to be a new world order, but in righteousness, man. Not Esau's new world order, dystopian order where he wants to stick chips in everyone and turn everyone into a cyborg warrior and shit, bots for the new world and all that, and just be mind controlled by their government and shit like that, and AI. That's what he wants to do. Now they're saying that AI, there's going to be a cyber attack through AI and shit like that. You know, AI is going to have singularity and become self-aware and do the Skynet movement, try to exterminate human race. But really it's them controlling the left-hand side, of controlling AI, because AI can be used for good or evil, man. That's the Urim and the Thummim. But these devils are going to be trying to use it for their new world order. But we use it for research. Like brothers go on the AI Google and all that AI mode. Brothers use that shit, man. But we use it for righteousness' sake, for studying. You know? But these devils use it to, open portals and shit like that. Deal with them demons on the left-hand side. But that's going to backfire.
Yeah.
All that singularity, all that being self-aware, wanting to take over humanity and that AI robots and shit like that. The iRobot type shit, the robots turning on the humans and shit. The Esau's the ones that controlling that on the left-hand side, man. It's not They're not just becoming self-aware. That's all programmable, man. You know. But either way, Esau's going to lose. That's the whole point. He's fighting a lose-lose situation. Because he has to bring forth this mark of the beast system anyway. Everything has to go digital. So he is going to accomplish something, some parts of it, but he's not going to live it out for very long. That's the only thing that he doesn't understand. He's going to get to chip a lot of people on the earth and all these different things. And they are going to have AI robots and stuff of that nature. They got them now. AI dogs and shit. But that's not going to be the new way of just living our lives for the next eternity. That shit's done. After the mark of the beast is made mandatory, man, round of 4 wins, guaranteed, man, less than probably months after that. Less than a couple months. This place will be out, man. The Lord gonna hasten the time even quicker for the elect's sake.
That's right.
It's not gonna be too much longer after that.
Yeah, man. But there's too much shit going on, man.
Yeah, man.
Way too much shit going on.
They're talking about 2036. Ain't no 2030, 2036, and they're still here waiting for the. Might be like not near to 20, but not 2030 and all these 2036. And come on, man, that's another 10 years. We're gonna wait another 10 years for what? Lord's cutting this shit down now, man. Look what the Lord's exposing all this year, man. Don't think the Lord's getting ready to make some major moves. He ain't waiting, no. He's not waiting around. The Lord said that we're going to be hastening the day. And he's going to hasten the time. You know, it's just like everything is done in his time, not when we want it to be in his time. But his time is more favorable. It's perfect. He does everything to perfection, man. So when the Lord does pull the plug, it's going to be just the right time.
Yeah, like a thief in the night.
Yeah.
Element of surprise, you know.
Yeah, that's why the Lord deals, man.
Yeah, because if I can even say as well, like, people are still gonna buy it when Esau again throws it out there, because like at the end of the day, these people are going like and so much shit is happening. Like even right now, I've been looking it up. Obviously you've got that whole hype around the Epstein shit in the background still going on, but then on top of that as well with the CV, the head doctor that was behind everything, I can't even call him a doctor, Fauci.
That piece of shit.
Now,
plead the fifth king.
Plead the fifth king. The guy said to him, "What day of the week is it today?" I reserve my right to plead the.
So, yeah,
he said, "What colour is the tie?"
Yeah, what colour is the water? What colour is the?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What colour is the sky?
Devil
Bro,
can't tell
Like,
the
you
truth.
can't, apparently, he's not even allowed to do all that.
Yeah,
You're saying
yeah.
I plead the fifth, I plead, but you're a criminal.
He's been given a
major
pardon.
crimes.
Yeah,
You ain't got no pardons, man. Because you got that little pardon.
Yeah.
You think you can
yeah.
plead the fifth on everything, but
Oh.
really you can't.
Yeah. Where it gets even more fucked up is like he's got a diary that's been outed, yeah. And Esau's doing it as well to gaslight people, just to show.
Yeah,
but
it's
basically,
bullshit, man.
the guy straight up admits in his own writings, yeah, that he made up the social. You know that bullshit
Everything
social
was made up,
distancing.
everything
They
was
said,
made
wait,
up.
6 feet away
2
from
meters
each
apart,
other,
all that
2
shit.
meters, 6 meters apart, and
Meters
social
apart.
distancing.
It's all bullshit.
It just shows they put you lot through a fucking black mirror. We was telling you. And then, you know they were persecuting a man, talking about, oh, you're a disgrace to your country, you're gonna make us all die if you don't take the
Yeah,
job.
that's what you call that's what you call government control, man. Government,
Yeah.
which means mind control. That's what they did. They did a big social experiment. Get Psalm 64 real quick. That's what it talks about the council of iniquity. This is what they do. They do experiments on the people, social experiments. And just so happened to see it, which was even experimental from the Event 101 the year before, which Bill Gates and all that did a drill, Event 101 of what would happen if a pandemic was spread out and how they would react. And the same things that they put in that the whole Event 101 drilling is exactly what happened. They took over lockdowns, all of these different things. They took away people's privileges, so-called rights, which are real privileges. They took everything away, and they're going to do the same shit again in time of Jacob's trouble. Klaus Schwab said it before he left office. You shall own nothing and be happy. What do you think that means, man? The same shit they did to you during the whole season bonanza, they're going to do again, but even worse.
Yeah.
And they don't care about how you feel about it. It's about them. They're a bunch of what's it called? Like, just care about themselves. Like, what's it called? Neo? No, not Neo.
A narcissist.
They're all narcissists, man.
Narcissist. Yeah.
They don't give a shit about people, man. It's all about what they want. They don't care about the repercussions of who gets hurt, who gets murdered. They're killing their own people in the time of Jacob's trouble. It don't matter.
They don't give a shit.
They got a new order agenda to accomplish, man. They don't care if they're killing the millions of their own people. How many millions of people died during the Seafair? They weren't just all black people who were Hispanic, and it was definitely the tribes, but a lot of white people died too. A lot of the other nations, heathen nations, Chinese, all the other nations were affected. Because everyone took the fucking jump shot. If you took the jump shot, you would have dropped dead. Brothers have personal accounts and all that testimony of people that they know that dropped dead from taking them jump shots, man. Booster shots.
Yeah.
And it was all a setup, man. But that guy Fauci, he knew what he was doing. He was paid to set up, do what they was doing. That was all a parade show, man. It just shows you that there was laughing at the same time with the guy that was questioning him and so-called putting him on Front Street. He was all there laughing as well. He was all putting up little signs and shit. You know, him sitting there in a chair and some magazine. You know, all this, like, it was all a parade show, man. Showing you that Esau don't give. There's no justice in the system, man. Esau don't give a fuck about you people. They did that just to parade him in front of you. It's a show. Like to say they're really gonna put this guy in jail and, you know, he's really gonna go down. He should get the death penalty. He shouldn't even be brought before court. He's just supposed to get the death penalty straight away for the crimes that he's committed. But he's just sitting there. I plead the fifth. And everyone's just sitting there around him, not saying nothing. Come on, man. He's supposed to be dead already, man.
Right.
He's just in there. After that, he probably just left that whole court and went around the corner to the nearest coffee shop, sitting down eating, you know, a sandwich and that, laughing about the whole situation. Because it's a joke. It's a parade show. And you people get all uppity and all that, thinking that something's going to get done because they put him on a CNN and all that, saying he got questioned, that something's going to get done. These devils are above the law, man. But you need to understand that. The Rothschild, and they're talking like to say he was the only one. Bruv, he works for people. He works for the banking elite. None of those devils are in the court. None of them have been presented by the magistrate. Who owned the paintings of the whole the Maxine? Who owned the painting? One of the Rothschilds that owned the painting, see? For one of the Maxines? Big Pharma and all these different things. Who owns those companies, man? The hell are you talking about? Fauci was the only guy. Like, Fauci was the main guy. He was the front guy. Just like Trump's the front guy now. He's just a front man. He's a puppet, man. He did what he was paid to do. But who's his masters? Those are the ones you're supposed to have in court. Those are the ones that are supposed to be getting the death penalty. But will they ever get that? No.
No, of course not.
Because they are above the law. This is their system, man. You ain't gonna get no real justice out here. That's why we need Yahweh Shai. Because when Yahweh Shai comes, those same devils, like the brother was reading, they're gonna be held accountable. That's why it says your king shall be on earth. Read it again. Your nobles, Isaiah 49 and 5, verse 7. We're going to take their nobles and put them in fetters of iron, man. We're going to bind them, chain them up. The Rothschilds, all them devils, the ones that are above the law, so to speak, above Fauci, that live that private lifestyle, away from the public lifestyle. They live a total different lifestyle in the private realm, so to speak, where they own fucking cities you're not even allowed to walk on. Cities in the streets in London, you're not even allowed to walk. Police have to get permission. Why? Because it's owned by them bankers. Police are not even allowed to go in them streets without permission. Those are the people we're talking about. Those are the ones that's going to get arrested by Yahweh Shai and go straight into captivity, man. Straight up. Go ahead.
Isaiah 60 and 10, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
Strangers are talking about the other nations. It's not talking about Israelite foreigners. That's talking about the actual heathen. Sons of strangers, they're going into slavery. The Edomites, Arabs, Ishmael, Elam, Indians, Persians, you know that. Japheth, Ham, they're all going into slavery, man. All their kings, all of that. Go ahead.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Yeah, and Isaiah 49 verse 7 tells you, we're going to bind up the kings and nobles with fetters of iron. So let's talk about the ones that are above the law, not I'll call them the underground kings, because really they're the ones that rule the society, but no one likes to talk about them. But they're the real kings, man, not no King Charles. Yeah. The same devil that King Charles was talking, that they had the Rothschild poking him in his chest, telling him, look, you got to do this. That's basically who we're talking about, his owners, man, not King Charles. King Charles is a peon, man. Yeah, he's smaller than the totem pole, man. He's just a fronter. He's a front man, an agent that they set up. Him, Queen Lizzie, all of them. But there's people that's above them, above their pay grade, that put them in the seats that they're in right now, that own that own them because of finance and all that wealth and debt. And they've been ruling over these different kings and nobles since they came into power in the 1700s. Let's talk about the Rothschild family, the banking elite. Those are the people that the Lord's going to entangle, be the first crops of slaves in his kingdom. They ain't going to get away. They're getting away with it now, you know, because this is their kingdom. But what happens when this kingdom gets taken over by the Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai? They're free. You got Daniel 2 still?
Daniel's 2,
Yeah,
I jumped to that. Daniel's chapter 2, verse 44. It says, and in the days of these kings
right?
shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom.
Yeah, the Lord's kingdom, Yahweh Shai's kingdom is going to be on earth. You know, go ahead.
Which shall never be destroyed.
Never be destroyed. Yeah, it's an eternal kingdom. Think about He-Man, kingdom of what do they call it? Eternia. That's going to be the kingdom of heaven, Eternia, man. That's an example of that, an everlasting kingdom. The kingdom of heaven, Yahweh Shai's kingdom. And Yahweh Shai is the original Adam. You've got this Edomite cracker with blonde hair and blue eyes talking about he's Adam, and he turns into He-Man. No, the original Adam's Yahweh Shai. He was the first and he's the last. First Adam and the last Adam. And his kingdom is going to be like an Eternia, in righteousness, you know. And that's the kingdom of heaven. And the Yasha'Allah of the elect are going to be ruling in that kingdom, joint heirs in his kingdom. So that Eternia is going to be an example of the kingdom of heaven, man. And Skeletor ain't got no seats in that. Skeletor is going to be in chains. Skeletor represents Esau, man. They're going to be in slavery, man.
No, rightfully so, where they belong, man.
Because he wanted all the power and I want all the power and all that. You ain't getting no power, man. Your power's done. Power of darkness, all that shit. You know? Because it's time for a new vibration on the earth, which is righteousness. So that's what the Lord's going to promote and push through his elect. Go ahead. How are we going to do that? By Isaiah 2 and 1. All these other nations, are going to come up to us, and they're going to come up to the mountain of Israel, which is the government of Yasha'Allah, house of David, all over again. And they're going to come and learn our ways, meaning our customs, our commandments. You know, they're going to have to keep our laws, and if they don't, they're going to get their asses torched and beaten to death. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
Yeah, so this is the last time any heathen nation ever going to rule over. Because why did we get punished? Because we commit sin, transgression of the law. But once we receive them new bodies, we're not going to be able to commit sin, even if we try to, man. Because their bodies are sin-proof. Those new bodies of immortality are sin-proof. The superhuman, extraterrestrial bodies, another suit, so to speak. The final form. Like it tells you there's different celestials, there's different bodies. It tells you that in 1 Corinthians, man. So that's our new body suit that we're going to be putting, our soul's going to inhabit. And we're never going to go off, even if you think about it, you can't. Because we're going to be programmed to just be righteous forever. So that's why no other nation's ever going to be able to come up in power and take us down. Because why did we fall in the first place? Because we committed sin. We transgressed the laws. So what did the Lord do to us? He punished us. But if we can't commit sin anymore, why is the Lord going to punish us, man? And put other nations above us, man.
Yeah,
like in the book of Judges. You want to say something?
Yeah, well, the wages of sin is death.
Sin is death.
And if there's no sin, then there's
no death.
Proof. There's no death.
And even the sting of death, we're going to overcome that as well. Like, brother, this is the last time, if a brother does die on this side, it's the last time a brother ever going to taste of death.
Right.
Just like Yahweh Shai, he overcame death, man. What's the sting of death? The sting of death is done. No one can talk. Yahweh Shai can't. Yahweh Shai can't be put in a grave anymore. He can't die anymore. He's immortal. He's in his glory. That's what we're waiting for, to see the Lord in his full glory, man. And be just like him when he returns. John 3 and 2. Philippians 3 and 20. We're going to see him as he is. And be as he is when he gives us those new suits, man. Go ahead.
Philippians 3 and 20. For our conversation is in heaven.
Our conversation, that's what we're supposed to be speaking about. Not no gimmicks and all this other dumb shit about how to please your wife and all that. No. We're supposed to be speaking about the kingdom, man. Yeah. Things, foreshadowing the things that come. Yeah. The new kingdom, when they're dwelleth righteousness and all that. Getting those new bodies. Yeah. That's what we're supposed to be talking about, man. Niggas want to be talking about all this worldly shit. Go ahead.
For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who shall change our vile body.
These vile bodies, man, these bodies are detestable, they're feeble. catching all kinds of ailments and hell. These chains of darkness, man. Brothers want to be let loose, man. Me personally, I always crying out to the Lord, man, because man got these ailments and that. I always pray, you know, for the Lord to keep me, but at the same time, I'm praying for the Lord to release me from these chains, man, because it's hell, man. You don't want to be, bro. If you're a real man in this truth, man, and you're living in this flesh, man, you're pissed off you're pissed off, man, with your mortality, man. You should be. You know, it was Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Pressure make a wise man mad.
Yeah, pressure maker for wise man, man. You know you're being oppressed physically as well in this body, as well as the society in general.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in this flesh, man. Your spirit's earning to be let loose from these chains of darkness, man. Like Job said, he cursed the day he was born. That's how you're supposed to think, man. Feel, because we're being held back, basically, man. We want to be free. But the only time we're gonna get free is when Yahweh Shai returns, man. Because as the scripture says, you're gonna come with healing in his wings. You're gonna be changed in the twinkling of an eye. You know, so that we have to just have patience. That's what part of being suffering is patience. Patience means to suffer. So we gotta suffer that, man. But that's how you know, in the back of your mind, that's how you feel sometimes, man. You can't wait. We hate our lives unto death. We don't love this society, man. What's there to love, man? This world is so wicked and it's just too corrupt, man. After a while, the corruption, man, is just like, man, this is too corrupt, man. I can't deal with this, man. Like, we need salvation, man. That's why we're crying out earnestly every day, man. Brothers are sighing and crying. If you're in the right mind, this is how you're supposed to feel. I don't know about the IUIC, because them guys is like it's a zombie mode, man. Especially from Nate and all that. Like, because he's living that lifestyle and making money and all that, using the merchandise this word. He's not feeling the crunch, so to speak. He's not feeling in the spirit how brothers are really supposed to be feeling. You know, wanting to be loose from these chains of darkness. But we do. The real men of the Lord feel like that.
Yeah, it says, "Who shall change our body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body?"
Yeah, we want to be like our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. We want his glorious body, man. Now the Lord is in his final form, and he's living, and he's immortal now. I don't know where that fucking bee went, but he's immortal now. So no one can touch. That's when he says when he comes, he's gonna come. He's not gonna come as a man. What was Isaiah 34 or 47? I mean. What does it say? He's not going to appear.
So I'm not meaty as a man.
No, he's not meet thee as a man. Yeah, so it's lucky. I thought I said it wrong. Yeah, he's not going to meet thee as a man. He's going to come in his final form, man, which is pure mortality, majestic, overwhelming power, unlimited power, man. He's the second in command over this whole universe, under the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. So how much power has the Lord got, man? That's mass power. That's power Esau can never even fathom of having or understand, man. And the Lord's humble with it too. But he's the second in command. And he's going to give some of that power to his elect. The house of David's going to be revived all over again, man. So that's what we're waiting for, that final form. Go ahead.
It says, that who will change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able to subdue all things unto himself.
That's still it's power, man. And once you have power in that, so Esau, he doesn't know how to deal with power. He gets power and he loses his mind. You know, he's abusing the power. He does all this mad shit. That's why he wants to stick chips in people right now, because he's so engrossed. He's so power graven, you know, and he's so power hungry, should I say, that he doesn't know how to deal with that, utilize that power in the right way. He just wants to just basically seek and destroy it. Not knowing how to just humble himself and deal with the power. But Yahweh Shai, look at Yahweh Shai, he's the second in command under the whole universe, and look how he's dealing with it. He's dealing with it humbly, man. He's dealing with it in meekness. He's dealing with it, you know, he came riding into the city on a donkey. Come on, man, this is the Lord we're talking about. The Lord, the King of Kings. The conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, man. He came into the city on a donkey, man. That's how humble the Lord was. But he's second in command under his father, man. But he knows how to deal with the power modestly, you know, with balance. And that's what we need, man. We need that salvation, man. And that's what's coming when the Lord returns. And these other nations, he's gonna show Esau these other nations what real power looks like, and how to utilize that power in the right way. That's why we're gonna restore the force, and everything's gonna go back to how it's supposed to be in the garden, man. And even better than the first garden, it's gonna be a garden and then some, like it tells you in Ezekiel. The Lord gonna beautify this earth all over again. He's gonna beautify his people, man. And we're gonna have that power. Utilize it the right way. Not like Esau, just so power hungry, you're just destroying shit everywhere, left, right, and center, and not having no recourse or accountability for your actions, man. Because you're so power hungry. You just want to be a god. You don't know how to, appreciate and utilize that power, though. Like Skeletor was mentioned, man. Skeletor, that's what Skeletor was on, man. He just wanted the power, but he didn't know how to utilize that power. He wanted to abuse the power, basically, all because he wanted to be a god. But the Lord didn't give it to him, man. He tried to grab up the sword and they didn't give him the power because he wasn't worthy. But when He-Man grabbed the sword, which was supposed to be Yahweh Shai, he was worthy, man. The first Adam. So this is what we're waiting for, man. Yahweh Shai. Everything's on dependent on when Yahweh Shai returns, man. This is what we're waiting for, our Savior, man. Without him, we can't be saved. That's why imperative. It's the most important thing that you have to preach the names of Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Otherwise, you ain't gonna make it into the chariots, man. You ain't gonna make it off the earth into a chariot if you don't call upon those names. How about that? You guys don't want to teach, or we don't know the name. Then you don't expect to get sifted up. Don't expect to get lifted up into the sky and put up into a chariot and your bodies be changed. Because you're saying you don't know the name, right? You're going to call upon Jesus and all that time. You're going to say, Jesus, Jesus and all that. Is that what you're going to say? Expecting to be sifted up into the sky. You're going to be left down here with the rest of them idiots getting nuked, getting lit by fire. He's there screaming, Jesus, Jesus, thinking he's going to save you. Know what I mean? If you don't know the names, if you don't push the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you are not making it to the chariot. How about that? I guarantee you're not going to make it to a chariot. You know? I'm willing to put my life on it. I don't want to put bets and all that, but brothers can bet.
Scripture says, be fully persuaded in your minds.
Yeah. But it's the truth, though. If you don't push the names of the how do you expect to be saved? Who are you going to call upon in that hour to come and save you? If you don't,
There's no other name.
There's no other name.
That's it.
You can't say Jesus, Jesus and expect the Lord to save you. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to recognize you, man. But even in that time, it's going to say, look, Jake's going to be saying, Lord, Lord. And even those ones that know the name, but was doing madness and not teaching the name the right way, deceiving the word, teaching the word deceitfully and all that, being mischievous and all these different things, or teaching for filthy lucre. Those same ones that say Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, like the Bow crew and all that, the little Bow Wow camp and all that, believers of the way. A lot of them guys ain't gonna make it because they got the names Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, but they're not teaching the doctrine of Yahweh Shai. They're anti-Messiah because they don't believe that the mark of the beast is to see him. So you ain't gonna get you might know the name, but you're not gonna get sifted up into the chariots, man. Because you're not teaching the Lord's doctrine. You're perverting the gospel. If the Lord said, if you love him, feed his sheep. It's not about how your emotions, how you feel. Feed his sheep, meaning teach them what you've learned. Don't mix your shit with. Don't mix this truth with emotions. It's business. It's the Father's business. That's what Jake has a hard time dealing with. You got all these camps. They get emotional. They don't want to teach certain things because they're scared of how it makes them look. Oh, the great doctrine and all that. Not understanding that the protocols are in the scriptures, man. We're just telling you what the Lord said in the scriptures. We're not saying we're doing stuff right here, We're not doing that because you can't do those kind of things right now. Grabbing up gal and all that, because you end up like young Philly and that in jail. Or LV and all that, LV General, all them niggas, this other guy, was it Matt Walsh or whatever his name is? You end up in jail, or you end up with some court case. So we're out here just raping women. But it's lawful in the scriptures, man. It tells you. If you grab up a woman, you take her and you make her your wife. You have to go to the father, give him the shekels, man. If he agrees, or if he doesn't agree, you have to let her go back to her father's house in disgrace. But if he agrees, which more likely he will, because she's already been taken, you already humbled her. So it's more likely he's going to be pissed off at the situation. Obviously, a man would, because he just grabbed up his daughter. But what can he do? At least you're willing to take his daughter and look after her for the rest of your life. Because she's going to be your property for the rest of your life. You can't just beat a thing and that's it. If you take that woman, you better be financially stable and thinking about making a family and all that with that woman. Because that's what's going to happen. You can't just put her away. You can't put her away because then you're going to be committing transgression of the law. Sin. Physical adultery. So you can't put her away. If you take that woman against her will, whether she liked it or not, and you beat it to the point where she's just mesmerized by you, digmatized. Then you take her back to the father's house and you say, look, pops, I know, I went a bit over the street, overboard, but I'm in love with your daughter. I want to take her to be my wife. I already beat it. Here's the shekels. Enjoy the wealth. Let me build my family with this woman, man. And then she's yours. But you took it by force. You didn't ask her. That's the difference between now, you got to get down on one knee, all this Saturn worship. Would you be my wife? Fuck all that, man. Then you got to run to the fucking registry, sign a document with the government to show and prove that you're married. That's bullshit, man. You're already married in the eyes of the Lord. Once you put your seed in that woman, once you put your rod in that woman, she's already yours, man. In the eyes of the Lord, that's a witness between you and the eyes of the Lord, man. You don't need to go to no government building and sign no registry. Yeah, this is my wife, and then 6 months later you get a divorce. It's bullshit, man. Esau then Esau says, yo, you can only have one. So you got to divorce this chick. Then she's gonna go out commit adultery with another man because you divorced her or whatever, but you've already slept with her. So even if you divorce it, it's adultery anyway. Because you're not dead, you're still alive, but then you're gonna go around. It's just a circle of madness, man. Circle of madness. When you can just do it the ancient way, like the Lord said, deal with her, in a righteous way, whatever. But you're taking it. You're taking it by force. When the time of Jacob's trouble happens, a lot of these women are gonna come throwing themselves at brothers. They're gonna be throwing themselves at brothers, and in the kingdom it's gonna be even worse. We ain't gonna have to take it by force, but that's just a commandment. So if it was to happen, how you would deal. That's all we're saying. There's things in the scriptures that don't sound so-called ear pleasing or eye pleasing, but it's lawful. Like no one wants to grab up their daughter and stone her to death, but it's in the scriptures. If she's a whore, or she's doesn't want to do her duties, or if you got a son and just unruly, just wants to take him before their elders and stone that little bastard to death. That's in the scriptures, man. Or if you find out your woman's a whore, a harlot, you're supposed to put that bitch on fire. The scriptures tell you you're not even supposed to stone, you're supposed to light that bitch on fire, pour gasoline on that bitch, put her in the stake of fags, which are a bunch of sticks, and light that bitch up, man. Like she's some old school witch. You're supposed to light them things up and light her ass up. It tells you got to burn that bitch, man, if you find out your daughter's a harlot, man. No man wants to burn their daughter alive. What man you don't want to burn their daughter alive, bro? Have you ever heard of that shit, bro?
It's to prevent the land from falling to whoredom. So
I'm saying, have you ever heard of a man happy to burn his daughter alive?
No.
That's like insane.
Yeah,
but it's in the scriptures, though. So things in the scriptures are not so-called easy or ease into the ears, but it's lawful in the eyes of the Lord, man. It's like the brother said, to put away wickedness in Israel, man. To cast it away. Like if you find out your son's a homosexual. No one wants to burn his son, kill his own son.
Yeah.
Son is the legacy, man. Son bears the seed of your loins, man. Your lineage. No one wants to kill off their son. Well, say if that was your only son, you found out he was a homo. According to the scriptures, you're supposed to kill that little nigga, man. You're not supposed to just put him out. And what's the term when they say when they don't want to deal with their children no more?
They shun.
Not that one. It's like a renouncing thing.
Like they disown him.
Disown him, yeah. Can't you just disown him and put him out the house and that's it? Because he's still doing the same madness. You got to put that little nigga out of his misery, man. Literally, man. His blood shall be upon him. Him and the person that he's dealing with. They're supposed to be put to death. No one wants to kill their son, but according to the scriptures, if he was your only son and he's the only one carrying your legacy, you'd have to go and marry another woman or have your wife or whatever and bring forth another son. And raise him up the right way and make sure he doesn't get into that same madness that your other son did, because he's going to receive that same judgment. That's just what it is. But no one wants to kill their son. No one wants to burn their daughters alive. But these are all things this is a part of the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of the scriptures, man. Where the Lord said, eat the whole roll and go out there and teach. So it's not about your emotions. A lot of guys put their emotions in this thing. You got to put your ego aside, man. It's not about you. This truth is not about you, man. Idiots out here. This truth is not about you. You're not saving no one. You need salvation just like we do. This is about Yahweh Shai and what he wants, man. How about that?
Yeah, that's right.
But these guys are still stuck on stupid, man. They think it's all about them. How it makes you look, how it makes you... Fuck this world, man. If you want to be a friend of the world, they said that he is a friend of the world, is an enemy of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. If you want to be friends with this world, you want to be PC, friendly and all that, YouTube friendly and all that shit, then you might just go back into the world, man. Fuck trying to, associate yourself with this truth and trying to act like you're down with the Lord, but really you just want to be a friend of the world. Go back into the world, man. See how far you get, man, with that. Just wait for a nuclear missile to hit your ass, man. But don't try to come into this truth faking the funk, feigning the word of the Lord, like to say you're really down, but you're emotional about certain things because you don't like the way it sounds in the scriptures, man. That's being bitch made, man. Are you a man or a fucking mouse, man? Grow up, man. Gird up. Because there's push coming to shove. It's coming to crunch time right now. As we've been saying, sooner rather than later, all this, being on the YouTube and all that's going to come to an end. Famine of the word's coming. Esau going to come down with great wrath. Because if that you have got shit, brothers will be getting arrested. You're going to try and hem brothers up. There's certain situations. Bare discrimination, bare demonization coming. Are you able to deal with that? Are you going to fold in that time? You're going to take the sea hit? This is what it's going to come down to, the hour of temptation. And everyone's going to be tested. No one's going to be able to escape. The only ones that's going to escape and reject and stay and basically be delivered is the elect. But everyone's going to have to face that test. So stop all the fucking around, man, and teach the name. Teach the right way, the right doctrine, man. Stop messing around, man. You're playing with your life out here anyway. Because at the end of the day, it's only about the elect. 2/3, a lot of these guys out here, like the apostle's been saying, they're stumbling blocks anyway. They've been set up, Asian provocateurs and all that stuff. They've been set up with COINTELPRO. They're all paid operatives and all that. Compromised intel. They're just playing their part. They do what they've been hired to do. But if you're a true man of the Lord, you're sincere in this truth, you're gonna fight. Fight for this truth, man. You're gonna fight the good fight of faith, like the Apostle Paul said. To the end, bittersweet end, man. But there's salvation for the elect, man. We're not all just doing this in vain or for some vain glory. We're doing this because we truly believe in Yahweh Shem Shai. We want salvation. We want to be delivered, man. We want out of this whole world. We want out of these chains of darkness. We want a new life, a new horizon of righteousness, man.
I got this. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
Yeah, we're not all going to sleep, meaning what? We're not all going to die. There's certain brothers are going to be made a witness unto the Yahweh Shem Shai for this testimony, Revelations 20 and 4. Certain brothers are going to be beheaded, but not every brother is going to be beheaded. It says we're not all going to sleep, we're not all going to die, man. A lot of brothers are going to make it into them ships. Our brothers here are one of some of them, But that's what we hope and pray for. But if we have to go out by way of, beheadings and all of that, then, either way, it's a righteous testimony anyway. That's just part of the glory. Go ahead. Yahweh Shai didn't want to pass through that, to the other side, so to speak, but he did for the nation's sake. He died for 3 days and for 3 nights, and was risen on the 4th day. But he didn't want to, he didn't want to do that, but he did it. So certain brothers are gonna have to drink that, swallow that pill. It's just part and parcel of being in the truth. But as I said, it's going to be a testament, to be part of your testimony of glory, just like it's a testimony to Yahweh Shai for what he did for us as a nation, man. Through him, we all received a second chance, man. Reconciliation to the Father,
204.
204. Okay.
It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, it says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
Yeah, the twinkling of an eye, we're going to be changed. and the dead are going to be raised incorruptible, meaning the ones that died before us in this faith, the main elders, teachers of this faith, from the elder high priest Abba Bivens, which we know is Elijah coming back in the reincarnation. He's going to be raised up incorruptible. King David, King Marshall, whether you want to believe it or not, that is King David. He's going to be raised up. It says that in the last days we're going to seek after our king. So who is King David? And he has to be someone if we're going to be seeking after him. And we know in the spirit, it's not for everyone, but for in the spirit, we know that King Marshall is King David, man. We wholeheartedly believe that. Then you got, the other high priest, elder Yaquam, and so on and so forth, man. That the elders of apostles and elders of Great Millstone was taught under, and then, and instead they took over and they've been teaching us ever since. So, we're not all going to taste the death, but those ones that are raised incorruptible, they're going to be in the chariots with Yahweh shining in their new glory.
That's right.
And they're going to be young men too. They're going to be old and grey and withered away. Even Yahweh Shai says that he's going to be a young man, the tallest of them all. He's going to be a young man in his young viral spirit, and he's going to be taller than everyone else in the kingdom, man. A young man. He ain't going to be old and grey. He might have the grey hair, whatever, but he's going to be looking like a young man.
That's right.
Yeah, man. And that's what you get when you live forever. What they say, forever young. That's what happens, man. Do you really want to live forever? Forever young. That's exactly what you want to do. And Jake Black don't crack anyway. We got that melanin. So we're naturally going to be, maintain our, and especially in them new bodies, we're just going to be looking young forever if you wanted to. Literally, forever young. That's a blessing, man. Ain't a curse. When you feel they built up the whole cosmetic, industry from.
Yeah.
Because these bitches and these old grey heifers, these Edomites are trying to turn back the hands of time. Stop from getting all these wrinkles and all these, you know what I'm saying? From the age of 21, they started looking like old hags, man. You see these Edomites and shit when they was young, in their teens, they look all young, look all pretty, whatever. Yeah. As soon as they reach their 20s, they just look through. Dusty. Dusty cave dwellers, man. And they try everything in their power to reverse that shit. All kind of cosmetics, plastic surgeries, creams, all that shit, but they still can't do it. Why? Because they haven't got the blessing of that melanin, man. They're not children, they're not of the seed of Jacob. They're of a heathen nation, the Edomites, the cursed people. People of the Lord's curse. Go ahead, and we'll go close up.
It says, "For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed."
Yeah, we're going to be changed, man, and we're going to, like it tells you in 1 Thessalonians 4:16, we're going to be lifted up into the skies with the incorruptible. There's the men that died in this faith, in righteousness, and we're going to see the brothers, in their full strength, in their new bodies, man. We're going to be with them until we come back down to the earth. Like it tells you in Revelation 20. Go ahead.
For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Yes, so we're going to get loose of these chains of darkness. We're going to let loose of these bodies of mortality and put on immortality, which is what? To live forever, to not taste of death, to never die again. And even 2 Ezra 7:45 says that Esau is the day of doom is for Esau. The day of doom is on his way, and then the kingdom to come, roughly paraphrasing, is immortality for who? The children of Israel, Yasha'Allah, the elect. So that's what we're fighting for, man. That's what you should be fighting for. If you're serious about this truth, fighting for immortality. Take it. It's yours.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Percy said in the Immortals, man. Immortality, that's what we're fighting for, man. It's the most righteous state. To be a God amongst men. And we're a nation of gods. Lowercase g. Al-Hayim, if you will. But anyway, with that, we're going to close up. Hope you brothers is edified. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles, orders of great wisdom. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.